Yeah, testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. You already know what it is, man. Hey, listen. This message is going out for you, my brother, Dr. Reggie. Let me get this right first. Let me drop the link so I can bring in Sister Dots and my brother Reggie. I'll let Reggie come in first before I start talking. The link is in the chat, Dr. Reggie. If you're there, come on in. Come on in. All right. Today's show is dealing with Sister Dots and, of course, Dr. Reggie. Sister Dots will be coming with a mind-blowing conversation with Dr. Reggie and some history. All right, here go Reggie right here. He's coming in with his Godfather hat on, got on his blazer. So you already know what it is. He coming with the smoke now, man. Reggie, I want to dedicate this song to you, brother. And I need you to listen to this song, man. You got to listen to this song. Here it is.
Time to set the stage with the lights off. Let the little nigga breathe till the fight's lost. You ain't never like the room with the bright sauce. Hail Mary, they despise what the light brought. Let them roach niggas bleed if they can't see. sa.neter TV, what you can't be. They say that murder on my mind, now they can't breathe. Take a picture of the crew, that's your last peep. Oh, and need me or love, yeah, that's just me. Keep them jumping like some frogs, so they might be leave when the sun set. And they don't really wanna bleed from the gunplay. And like mine, nigga smoking weed on the one-way street, nigga. Yeah, we see we outside with it. Pull up to debates like we might be with it on guard. Side these niggas like bullshit and they fraud. Let me chop them down with the sword. Walk them down like they little boys. This the toughest you gon' be in, we too hard. And you don't really want that smoke, my G. Who would be sa.neter TV? This the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Keep that off your lip before you get flipped. We got sources over here, we don't just spit. Too many bosses over here, y'all just legit. Put them niggas in the game, let them get real. Don't even step unless you come in with that scholarship. That economic tip, gotta make a dollar flip. And I might be next, I don't give a damn, a truth rolling with me, so I'm feeling like the son of man. Too many gon' hate, gotta make a stand. I'm just trying to duck the lake, you don't understand. Read them when I greet them, that's my best plan. Head first shit, I'm just saying. Nigga meet me in LA, oh you just playing. Too many be fake what the base saying. So I tell them they don't want no smoke before they end up in the newspaper next day. Smoke. This the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. And this is it right here. The toughest you gon' ever be in. You wasn't conscious before us.
All right, my brother Reggie. The reason I played that song is to remind you that this is the toughest environment to be in, brother. We got Sister Dots coming up. And I don't want Sister Dots to razzle and dazzle you. Just be calm and patient, even if it's some things that you don't like. Be calm, be patient, answer the questions without, we don't want no crying amongst nobody. And this is the toughest environment, man. So if you allow her to take you out of your body, you're going to lose this conversation. But if you stick with the information, you're going to teach the people tonight. And that's what the people are hoping for. I don't need no response, brother. All I need you to do is listen, man. I don't need no response. If you teach the people tonight, that's all this is about right now. We know how our women can be. We could get emotional, but sometime now, men been getting more emotional than the sisters, brother. Real talk, man. And so we're going to have to maintain our composure and just that book that you holding up, show us what you learned, brother, out that book. That's all you got to do. And with that, brother, I'm waiting on our sister Dots to come on in. Come on in, man. They talking about your hat, Reggie. They love your hat in the chat. They love your hat, brother. They saying that hat is fire. And I need my moderators to please, man. Please, moderators, let's throw Reggie's Cash App in there. Let's look out for our brother. He's coming on. He didn't have to do this. He's coming on to teach. And this is going to be very, very interesting. We got Sister Freedom in the chat. Dot's coming in with her fans in the chat, her supporters. That's what's up, Dots. That's what's up. Sister Freedom, shout out to you. Coming in to support her girl. That's what's up. That's how you do it. So you could have said that to him in private. No, Negro, don't tell. I'm a grown-ass man. How the hell you going to tell me what to say in private? I know what I'm doing. I know I could have said it in private. I want to say it live so everybody can hear it. Negro, tell me what to say, man. What is wrong with you? Let me put you on blast up here, man. Here's a Negro here trying to tell me what to do. I'm probably old enough to be your goddamn daddy, boy. And you trying to tell me what to say in private. What the hell is wrong with y'all people is bugged out, man. Mika won. I bet you Mika won. She is smart as hell right now. Because she be getting all this information from everybody, boy. I know she be cutting her friends up. They get into a little debate and discussion. I can see her now going in on her friends. Because, she be in it. She in it. She in the information. She getting this information from all over the place. Whether it's Hebrews, Islam, whatever, you name it. She's probably well-versed in every goddamn topic right now. Because if there's one loyal sister that be getting that information and that knowledge, I got to admit, that is Tamika. Mika. Yep, that's real shit, man. Real shit. So we waiting on Dot. That should be coming in real soon. Let me call her up. Last time I spoke to her, she was on her way home. She should be hitting the panel in a few minutes. We got to give her time. She's just coming in from work. Let her get her little thirst on, her water. Hey, it's cold. It's cold outside, Reggie. It's cold out there, man. Yeah, it's cold out there, man.
Did you send this in my email?
No, it's in the chat. It's right at the top. Click the chat. We in here. We waiting.
I'm waiting for the
Oh, you was
email.
waiting for the email. It's in there though.
Okay.
All right.
Give me a second. I'm coming on now.
All right. So there y'all have it. She's coming in now.
Yes, yes,
I think I'm gonna have to. Oh yeah, what you got on, Reggie? What's that?
It's real cold. It's real cold in the Bronx.
What's that? What you got on? What you rocking?
Oh, it's a fisher collar. It's a fisher collar in my coat.
Woo! Go with the hat.
It's real cold. It's real
It's
cold.
real G, huh? It goes with the hat.
Right? If you want to talk about it, yeah, it's real cold. But I'm gonna take it off in a second because I'm gonna get real hot. But yeah, just yeah. Maybe after this I go to a cigar lounge or something like that, you know? Yeah.
The cigar lounge? Where's that at, Reggie?
Oh, 215, a rough to Isham, 215.
And what y'all do there? Y'all just smoke cigars and talk trash?
Yeah. I don't really talk with most people and stuff. I just sit by myself, smoke cigars. I don't get into it with these people.
Hey, yo, I see my man says Reggie about to beat Dots up. Look, y'all better stop sleeping on these sisters, bro. I'm telling you, y'all better stop sleeping on these sisters, man. Y'all better stop, Chad. You better stop sleeping on these sisters, man.
Yeah, I think Dots is capable.
Dots is definitely educated, man.
She's capable. I think she wants to go out on her own, and you know, I think she wants to do her own podcast, and you know, this is the best place to do it, especially if she can get through Brother Reggie, right? She can get through Brother Reggie. She hit a home run, and you know, she might get a few points in. She got definitely a master's.
Are you ever doing the sa.neter Awards again? I would love to, because there's a lot of great work that the people are doing out there. I definitely would love to do that again. The deal is, are we going to support each other? See, that's the deal. I mean, who else is doing it? If I don't do it, who else going to step up and do it? Nobody. See how people was banging on me because of hate when I was doing the award show? And now I stopped doing it, and look, nobody steps up to take care of to do it. You see what I'm saying, Reg?
Absolutely.
I was trying to make it an annual thing every year, but I would love to. I would love to do it.
You ever gonna show any of it, sir?
No, I don't need to show nothing. Okay, so here we are, right here. How you doing, sister?
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, Dots? Come, you muted.
Me, I'm sorry. Hey, how y'all doing? Good evening, everybody.
All right, good evening. How you doing? That's good.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is I would like to put up a timer.
Yes.
So that when we ask questions,
Okay.
the question will be answered, and you know, nobody could cut in. You got to answer the question until it's time. He got time. How much time you think y'all need? A minute and a half or 2 minutes, Dr. Reg?
I don't know why you're making it so formal. If you
No, we got to do that. I got to do that because I know how it gets.
Nah, but you didn't tell either of us, and so
it's all right, brother. You know, we're doing this organic, brother.
We're in a situation where we can't have a conversation. We
all
know.
Right. You know what? We can start it off like that.
We're grown.
Okay, I'm gonna start it off like that.
Full-blown,
if we get a little long-winded and stuff like that, I'm gonna have to put up the timer.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, look. I know, Reggie, you said that I was trying to set you up. I promise you, it's nothing like that. It's just a conversation. Okay. We just gonna have a conversation. That's it. That's all. But we could do like, how much time y'all want to do? Like 2 hours is good.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't care.
How long? How long?
I'm gonna do 2 hours. We could talk. We could just go back and forth and then have people hit the link.
2 hours is
nah. It's good, Reggie, because we can have people hit the link and ask our questions.
Guys,
2 hours.
Watch how quick that's gonna go.
That's an Inky and Jabari debate.
No. Watch how quick it'll go. So hold on, Reggie. We'll just let it go the way it is. So right now,
I say, listen, at an hour and 15, who knows? Maybe in an hour and 15, I'll tap out. Right?
No, you ain't gonna tap out. You're gonna be more interested.
I'm not doing
Anyway, hold on. I want Dots to start off the conversation, being that she's the one that called it. Okay, all right, it's all right. So, Sister Dots, you can start this conversation. It's on you.
Oh, okay. All right. So, hey y'all. Happy Friday to everyone. Happy Friday to everyone. I'm happy to have this conversation with you, Brother Reggie, because you're an elder that I definitely respect. I know that you put in a lot of work over the years. You're academically trained. And I know you've definitely been quite vocal about your feelings regarding those who like go under the paradigm or the banner of like, you know, American Indian or copper colored. There's a lot of misnomers, right? But I know that you definitely have some strong feelings about that. And what prompted the reason why I was like, oh, I would love to have this conversation with you is because Sai, you put on a couple of dope shows this week in regards to the FBA. That's a hot topic. And I definitely, and what I thought was really good about it is the fact that like at one point it was like you had like, you know, the elders on top and then it was like these young brothers on the bottom. And the conversation, I don't know, just a lot of things came to mind. And I was like, you know what, I think it'll be a good idea for us just to like, you know, have an organic conversation and extend that a little bit. So that's really where what my intent was. That's it. That's all. All right. But since I'm in the toughest environment and HOK is known for sourcing up or shutting up, I'll start with a primary source. And I'll start with the clip of what you said on Wednesday on the show. I'll start there because actually that is what sort of sparked my interest in having this discussion with you, Reggie. And I don't want to misquote you or anything like that. So I'll just play what you said and then we can go off based on that. Is that okay?
Hey, it's all fair in war.
Okay. Are we doing war? Let me know because I match energy.
you just
I want to chill, but I match energy. I just need you to know that. Okay? Give me 1 second.
You did your research. You just clipped me. So now I know. So
no, I don't want to misquote you. That's all. That's it. I'm just replaying what was
What was said?
What was said? That's it.
Shout out to La and Dana. Excuse me.
I promise you. I promise you.
La. Brother
Brother La and Dana. Shout out to them too. Okay. All right, 1 sec.
All right, shoot your shot.
I'm going to share the screen. Give me 1 minute. And if there's an ad that pops up, y'all, bear with me. Here we go.
All right, y'all. We just waiting for a minute. Dot's getting her stuff together. She's getting ready to share her screen.
Yeah, I just have to pull it up. I have a lot of tabs up, y'all. Reggie, if you want to just say something so everyone's not waiting, I'm just pulling it up. Give me 1 second, you guys, okay?
All right.
1 minute. Y'all can talk or you can say whatever.
I think this is going to be a very good conversation. I'm liking it. I'm liking it already. How it's going.
I'm doing this for you, sa.neter. This is a setup. This is your own personal doing.
What you mean is a setup? What you mean? Talk to me. Clear that up.
You're an evil genius. And
evil genius?
Evil genius.
I don't think that's right. That's not right. That's not right.
Evil genius?
That's
not right.
That's right.
It's nothing. I don't know why you think I'm trying to like do anything but
I'm
not sure why you're not seeing this.
I'm talking to sa.neter. This is
all right. The screen is up, Reggie.
Okay.
The screen is up, Dot.
That's a compliment, Reggie, really and truly. And I wouldn't lie to you.
Oh, there go Brother Law. Peace.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna start it at 228.
Ancestors and your there's a sister in history. Her name is Amanita Ross. Does anybody know who she is? Amanita Ross? Anybody know who she is? One of the most important Black figures in Black America. Amanita Ross. You never heard of her?
See, Reggie, you said Amanita.
So that to anybody in general.
Her name is Amanita.
Amanita Ross. Okay. Amanita Ross, she married a Tubman. Her name became Harriet Tubman, Amanita Ross.
Wow.
Amanita Ross's grandmother was an African, right? Many of the people that we know at that time periods, they were African. They are our parents' people, some of our greatest people. Thurgood Marshall's grandfather was an African. Malcolm X's great grandfather was an African, right? Many of the people that we know direct from the continent didn't spend so many years in this country, but migrated during this time period. We have this organization called the Foundation of Black Americans.
It's not an organization.
Okay, then that's worse. We have a group, a social media group.
No, social media group.
Black Americans.
It's not, and I'm not trying to disrespect you, Elder, but I can't let you do that. I can't let you do that.
What is? Wait, so David, let me finish.
So explain. I just want somebody to explain it then.
Right.
Just explain it to me.
Okay, so we can talk. So let me just finish this point, and then I'm going to talk to you about that. Okay, and I think this is going to bring in. So what FBAs don't know, because they don't do good research, when we got autonomy in this country, when we had some semblance of freedom, what organizations did we name? What are our most prominent organizations that we named from the FBAs? What are the most prominent? I'm talking about 1782. What are our most prominent organizations that we began to name ourselves? sa.neter knows. Brother La knows. What? But I'm talking to you because you're trying to teach our people about lineage. So I'm asking you, what do we call ourselves?
Okay, so yeah, lineage and organization is something separate, but enlighten me though, because I'm not too proud to admit I'm not sure. So tell me.
Okay, fine. I'm David Walker. You got a good name. You got a good historical name. I can talk.
Indeed, right?
Right, a good name. I picked that up. Right, no contradiction with a David Walker. Right, who wanted to go back to Africa? By the way,
no, he didn't.
David Walker did not want to go back to Africa.
I got his quote right here. David Walker,
Cameron,
who he didn't want to build a
named
Jerusalem
after.
in Africa.
He said,
"Okay, we'll get to that." He's going to give me a quote. I'm gonna wait while he's
Cameron.
looking up his quote.
I found
the most prominent organizations that we created in 782. Okay, you found it. I'm gonna listen.
He said, and this is from David Walker's appeal. He said,
Cameron,
America is more our country than it is the whites. We have enriched it with our blood and tears. And will they drive us from our property and homes, which we have earned with our blood? This land, which we have watered with our tears and our blood, is now our mother country.
Okay.
We'll speed it up. So the next point.
Okay.
Hold on.
But that was, what did he say? He said
You said about
our
union.
early insurance, all of us had to spend yourself from Africans.
Here we go.
Well, you want to delineate yourself from your ancestors. So any of those organizations that I said, you can Google it and you could come with a spin. But these are the organizations that fed us, that buried us, that when people had to be hospitalized, right? These are the basis of our early insurance, all of our benevolent activities that we survived on. All of those came from these organizations right here, every one of them. And every one of them was named African.
Mm.
So
Okay.
All right.
Stop
All
it
right.
there. Hold on. I'll stop it there. So you could take that down for now if you like. This for now. Sorry if I'm not looking at you guys. Okay. So I wanted to start there, Reggie, right? Because you absolutely made some great points, right? Like the first notable organizations that were built and structured definitely around Black or African people, especially at the time that it was created, which is great. I would agree with that, just at face value. And then you made a correlation between the fact that, so because the word Africa was used in the title, in the name, and because of that, by default, that must mean that, and it proves that we must all be descendants of the African slave trade or, of African descent. And so in that conversation, well, let me start here. With that, could it, since two things could be true at the same time, because I do agree with that point, that absolutely, there are definitely those here that have descendants from Africa, 1000%. But could another reason be because of the racial classifications and what was legal terms at the time? Meaning, like, so at the time we know that African wasn't a legally recognized term, like white or Indian would have been at the time. So starting an organization like the Free African Union Society or others that came after, for example, you know, possibly it wouldn't be perceived as a threat legally because Africa or African had no legal standing in any jurisdiction at that time, at the time that it was created. And so that allowed that organization or those organizations to have like a modicum of a little bit more freedom, if you will, in terms of getting funding down the line. And then soon other vested interests started to come into play. So what are your thoughts around that? I just wanted to start out with that question with you.
Okay, so first, when I was speaking, and peace again, sister. So sometimes we're speaking quickly because we're not really in a debate. I was in a conversation. So Harry Tubman's name is Araminta, and so I slightly mispronounced that, but it was Araminta Ross. Her grandmother is noted to be from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the term Africa, you raise something, but generally what is known is that they began to call themselves African, and they largely did it in the free states, and so they had a certain amount of autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
They had less anything inside the southern states, and they didn't create those organizations in the southern states.
Mm-hmm.
So in the northern states, they had much more autonomy. So there's no legal classification that they couldn't call themselves black or colored or Negro, but they chose African. They could have chosen any of those terms. And so I would need a source to say that there was legal classification. But the fact is that more than 10 organizations were created around the 5 states. And the only other thing I want to correct is when David Walker is that I confuse David Walker with another figure on the Jerusalem point, but David Walker did say that we are sons of Africa. So David Walker did say that.
Okay.
Children of Africa, sons of Africa.
Sorry about that. My apologies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, you were done?
I just wanted to make the point that David Walker, where he did not necessarily want to return to Africa, right? And I tried to correct that on the show. I did with the conversation with the young brother David Walker. The fact of the matter is that he also in his David Walker's his appeal was to the colored citizens of the world. So these heroic figures used the terms colored, black, Negro interchangeably in that time period.
Yeah. No, so you use the word they, and in terms of like they chose to call themselves African, right? And that's a really good that I really want to explore, because I want to understand like who was the they, like where was the vote, when did this happen? Because what I have noticed is that, and when with just even listening to like the shows that was on for this week, you know, okay, let me start here. Let me back up. When we had Judge Joe Brown on our show, a really good friend to the show, whatever, shout out. I know he's a friend to HOK too, so shout out to Judge Joe Brown. And we were talking, we always talk about conversations like this. And I had asked him, I believe either I or somebody had asked him just about like the term of African American, like where did the term come from? How did it start? And on our show, he had mentioned that according to him, it started in the 60s, right? In terms of African American. And what he was saying is that pretty much, during the time of the war, for brothers who did not want to go to war, for example, and they had the grades or they could make it, they went to college. That's how he went to the college that he went to and went to law school, right? And what he was saying is that when he was in college, and they were in their, let's call it the Black Student Union, that they decided, right? So it was like a group of educated, which would make them somewhat elite, especially in the 60s, a very small population. It allowed them to have some power and influence, and they decided that they would be called African American. They didn't want to be called what, let's say, the white man, for example, wanted to call them. They saw Negro as beneath them, a term that was seen as beneath them. They didn't want to go for that anymore. Things were changing. This is now going into the 60s. And he said that African American was created and if I'm lying, those of you who may have seen the show, y'all can verify that, okay? Just by hitting one. If I'm being honest, just press one if you saw that show. That's what Judge Joe Brown said. I do know that the term African has been used before the 1960s. I'm well aware of that. But who was it used by? Because the last time that I checked, I can be honest with you, Reggie, and I want to hear Sa, if you what your experience was and what your experience was, Reggie. But growing up in Harlem, and when I think about all the people around me, the aunties, the grandmas, the grandpa, none of them ever said that we were African. Not one of them said we was African. Why are they lying? Why? And the Africans made it clear we weren't African. There was clear delineation. We are a people that always embraced others. We support others. This is why they love to come into our communities and open up hair braiding shops, nail shops, right? Because we support, we show love. We've always, right? But the delineation has always been there, So who were the we that chose to call us African Americans? Because last time I checked, it wasn't the hood. Last time I checked, it wasn't the majority of us. It was those in academia. That's a very small minority. And I can understand why they would be the spokesperson for us as a demographic. Especially in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, you needed a college degree to even enter the room, to even have a voice. That's a small population. But that doesn't mean that they represented the majority of us as African American. That's all I'm saying. And I also believe that they didn't do this just because. I believe that they did it based on the information that they had at the time. So I just want to hear, like, what do you think about that? What is your response to what I said?
Well, sa.neter, she trying to be the hottest girl in the game, right? Messing with Brother Reggie. However, good sister. The term African American was created in 782 in a sermon called The Capture of Lord Cornwallis. It was an anonymous author who identified himself as an African American in 1782. This is the same time period, and that sermon was printed in Philadelphia, in the same area where you're going to have a number of African benevolent associations.
I'm sorry, Reggie, I didn't hear your first part. You're talking about what organization?
The sermon that was written in 1782 was printed in Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, you have a number of prominent leaders and organizations that then, after the sermon, or around the sermon, maybe these organizations were started slightly before the sermon, but they certainly, this is Philadelphia, Boston, later New York, they began to call themselves African. But this sermon was the first time African American was used, right? Are you familiar with it?
Somewhat. You can tell me though.
No, oh, you would have, if you was familiar, then either you were trying to trick me, right? You were trying to trick me, or I just kind of helped you remember.
but there is a sermon that marks when African American was used, and it signaled a double identity, basically African descent and American, bonding them together. And then you have on top of that a number of these organizations, the African Benevolent Association, later the African Lodge that became the Prince Lodge. You have the African Methodist Episcopal Church.
Yeah.
So you have those things. And so the quick answer to your question is in 1782. That is when the African fused African and America in a article.
Okay, so Reggie, listen, I want to say this to you, and I mean this genuinely, right? I am not trying to trick you or put you into a trick bag. I don't need to do that, right? I just said to you when I started out that I respect you greatly. If we can't have a conversation and just allow it to flow, and it's going to constantly be like these, then I don't know, it's going to get it. So I want to continue to do this with you, but
why are you getting frazzled? I just said either you knew it. Why would you ask me something, good sister, if you knew it?
Okay, so we can.
Were you familiar with the sermon? You said yes. Then I said, then why would you ask me about something that you knew? Why wouldn't you just go into the elements of the sermon, and we can move on?
Right, because I wasn't thinking about the sermon when I had asked. My question was more so when I had said, like, in terms of the they, and like when in terms of like that whole paradigm, when right. So I was just trying to understand who was the they. When was the where was the populace, right? That agreed that in fact this is what we're calling. That's it. That's all. That was it. That was all. It wasn't a trick question, Reggie. Okay.
Well, I can so how did it affect Black people? Okay, so
yes,
during this time period, you have the elements of the British still attacking America, and what the British was doing, starting with Lord Dunmore, the Lord Dunmore Ethiopian Regiment, is that Lord Dunmore had a regiment of Black folks because the American colonists were using Black folks, right? And so Lord Dunmore, he offered freedom to Black folks if they crossed the line and joined the British side, right? So they were using what they call at the time Ethiopian regiments, still connected to Africa. And so the author was criticizing African Americans or Africans who are in America for joining the British side. He was criticizing that. And then so he was making a plea to the African in America to work within this domain instead of going to the British, where the British they were the ones who started slavery. So that wasn't a good guarantee. So he urged Black people to kind of reject the British protection and stay in America and align themselves with the American cause, right? Even if their own emancipation would not be immediate. So it was, how can I say, the issue is that then and there, it became a big deal to stay in America or to join the British side. And then of course, you have the Star Spangled Banner. There's a verse in it that also deals with the colonists now making fun of Africans who are running to the British side. So, and it's pretty nasty. So the issue is there was a war going on. Both sides needed Ethiopian African regiments, and so Africans were here to decide what is the best side for them,
right? And that's always the case because now you said something about delineate. Or you, when you say delineate, does it have any, does your word delineate have anything to do with lineage? Because I think that a lot, I'm just asking you first. So let me ask you, does your definition of delineate have anything to do with lineage? We can't hear you, dear. Dear, we can't hear you.
I apologize. I think my mute button was on. Sorry about that.
Okay, it's
I
all
want
right.
y'all to hear the background information from my sons coming up and down the damn stairs. Yes, I do. Okay. I see where you're going with your question, Reggie. There isn't I would answer it this way. There is an association between the two, between delineate and lineage. I would, right? Just based on what they mean at their root word.
No, I'm not clear. You said they are or they aren't.
I think that there's a connection between the two for sure. Yes. Yes.
Why do you think that?
Well, because so lineage is your descent, right? I mean, I think that in some definitions they may use the word quote unquote race, even though I know that's a social construct, but it's from a line, right? It's from where you descend, it's your line. And the word delineate, right? It means to mark out, it's to sketch something out, right? When you to delineate means to draw lines. So that's why I said the root words are connected. But if you're talking about delineating in terms of like going into the FBA talk, that's something different. But I would say that definitely at the root, yes, there is a connection. There definitely is an association.
Okay, so I need to check that, and I'm not so much in an agreement. So delineate means to draw out, to draw boundaries, right? Directly. I think that because it's coming in with the
I see what you're saying.
It's not necessarily actually related, right?
I see what you're saying.
And then but when I say that Africa was delineated before the slave trade, right, when the Europeans came, is that the Africans were in separate boundaries already. They were different ethnic groups, different tribes, right? And so I think that the FBA people, well, they don't read and study. They used to get it from us, and now they think they trying to find out who is their master researcher, so we can talk to that person. But even though Tariq Nasheed got a really good mind, really bright, I'm even this whole construct is really fascinating. But so I think we both clear that up. It has nothing directly to do. So when we are delineating, the FBAs think that we're protecting our lineage.
Separating, right?
And that's not correct. We have already been separated, but that's another part of the conversation because of divide and conquer, and because of the divide and conquer, and then we are accepting, we're acquiescing to that, and we separate from ourselves so many different ways as a people, color, class, etc. But so I tried to answer your question as to where it came from.
Yeah, so sorry. Go ahead.
It came from 1782. Roughly. That's the first time it was used. Okay.
So you don't agree with that point of, you don't think that there is a reason for people with melanin that's here in the Americas to separate themselves into ethnic groups, or separate themselves, delineate, if that's the word that we're going to use. Like you feel like we should just all be under one banner.
Well, people have, well, when we were on a slave ship,
well, for those people who believe that the masses of our people who came to this, the millions that came to this country, for those people, that's not necessarily you, but for those people on those slave ships, we figured it out right then and there that no matter what language we speak, we had we were taken, we were kidnapped, and we wanted to return home. And so where we could mutiny, we could. Where we could fight on the harbor, we did. We found and we fought together, independent of of our former cultural situations, because we on that slave ship in that long voyage, we tried our best to keep people going, no matter what their particular ethnic group was. So we found unity. And then we found unity, of course, on that slave line, right? On those slave lines where the European made us unified for their purposes. So it helped in the sense of that we had our own self-unity, but then we were organized in military gangs, right? And so the issue is that I think culturally you can make some differences about, we eat like this, we march like this, we sing like this, we do this, and that's fine. But we're at war. We were always at war. And in war, you unify. Everybody unifies. Even the slave ship traffickers, they came from various classes. They unified on that slave ship to capture us for economic reasons, right? The Arabs that captured us, or the Berbers, they unified for their business and for their particular belief. And they warred on people who were not unified. So I think culturally, in a short answer, yes. But when you're in war, it's more feasible to, and we are in constant war to unify.
Yeah. I think that okay, so I want to be clear. Like, of course, there was a slave trade, right? Let's be very clear. There was a slave trade happening in Africa. There was a slave trade happening in the Americas. We know these things, right? It's in Asia, even all over. And I think sometimes, like with the conversation, and that's why for me, at least, I think that this is an exciting time, to be quite honest with you. I really do. I like the energy. I like the pulse. I like the back and the forth and the pull and the resistance and people standing on a square, because only through that really do you stand on your square, right? And you're going to keep on unpacking and digging and researching and trying to figure it out so that it makes sense for you. I think all of that is dope, And one of the things, I'll tell you something real quick, just personally, I had to do, I'll be honest with you, Reggie, I had to do like a little quick, like spiritual reset, right? Because respectfully, like it wasn't until I got to college that I started getting on the Pan-African paradigm. I'm going hand to God, right? It was in college that's where I learned the out of Africa theory. It was in college that I learned, that I came from slaves. It was in college that I learned, how the slaves say, like all of these things. That's where I learned it. And I've said this before, before I went to college, and I was the first one in my family line to go away to school or whatever like that. It was a predominantly white university. It was 2% other, Reggie. So you already know other. Okay. It was 98% white and it was 2% other. That included everybody. So you already know the wilderness that I was going into. And my grandmother, although she wasn't college educated, didn't have any formal training, right? But clearly wise beyond her years. And she told her 17-year-old granddaughter, I'm sending you away. Listen, I always taught y'all there's 3 groups of Black people. You got your brilliant, basic, and brain dead. I'm sending you away brilliant. Don't come home telling me you come from monkeys and apes. And don't come home telling me that you don't know where you come from Africa. Like, I know you, I've taught you this. You're going away brilliant, baby. Don't come home basic or brain dead. That's hand to God. I didn't get it. This is a woman that never went to college. But she was preparing me for something. I went to college. I spent a few years, right, being academically trained. And even with it, subconsciously, my thinking started to change. And because of the career that I went into, I had to parrot, right? I had to be, quote unquote, on code. This is some real, I'm being real. I had to be on code, Reggie. That's when I became Pan-African. That it wasn't, I didn't hear about that growing up. I just didn't. And so, you know, I had to do a spiritual reset. Me and my sister, we did a sister trip, and we went to East Africa a few years ago. Came back, spiritual reset. I have to make this right. Because how dare I come home on my Christmas breaks from college, because now I'm educated and I'm in college, and I'm questioning my grandmother, wisdom and counsel. I'm like, Nana, in my anthropology class, they're teaching me boom, 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 boom. But you saying we not there. But Nana, they got proof. This is what the source says. This is what the document says. I was on code, Reggie. My first paper.
Well, let's stop. People get confused.
Okay.
Okay. At the time that you went to college,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know the years, and you don't have to tell us, right? But I'm pretty sure Nellie Fuller was teaching, Nellie Fuller Jr. And so when you say on code, you meant you had read Nellie Fuller's compensatory code, or you're just using the word on code?
No, meaning I'm using the word on code, meaning that I had to parrot, right? I became conditioned, right? I'm being academically trained. It's a different type of thinking. You and I know that. And this is not, I am not being disrespectful or dismissive to the work that any of us had to put in to get those degrees. Not everyone can do it. That's some real stuff, right? But understand that even without me being aware, my thinking was changing without even me being aware of it. But then, you know, you have the spiritual reset and your ass wake up. And I'm like, this is not making sense. So so you going back to what you said, some things are just not making sense, you know. And I say the last time my teacher told me, because it is true, the more you know, the angrier you become. The more you know, the more questions you have. I think that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. So when I see these brothers coming up here, however wild they may sound, however crazy they may sound, right? But the fact that they got that passion and that they are trying, and they're talking about genealogy and unpacking and finding it, that's dope to me. So I say all that to say, I go back to what you were just saying, because you mentioned this, right? One of the things that really kind of gave me like this little light bulb, if you will, was because growing, I in school, I learned that, yeah, right? We all came, if you are Black and you here in America, you came from a slave. There was millions that was enslaved that came over here, only to find out that those numbers just keep dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. You just said yourself that there were millions who came over through the slave trade. And I was like, that's why the light bulb went up. Sa, can you share this for me real quick?
Like the video, thumb up the video.
Okay, so this is pbs.org. Not sure, just real quickly. Reggie, I promise you, this is something that I have showed on the other thing because it's quick and it's to the point, right? So this is by Henry Louis Gates Jr. It was originally posted on The Root, okay? pbs.org. Here we go. How many slaves landed in the United States, right? So perhaps you, like me, were raised essentially to think of the slave experience primarily in terms of our Black ancestors here in the United States. In other words, slavery was primarily about us, right? From Crispus Attucks and Phyllis Wheatley, Benjamin Banneker, Richard Allen, all the way to Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, and Frederick Douglass. Think of this as an instance of what we might think of as, quote unquote, African-American exceptionalism. In other words, if it's in the Black experience, quote unquote, it's got to be about Black Americans. Well, think again. The most comprehensive analysis of shipping records over the course of the slave trade is the Transatlantic Slave Trade Database, edited by Professors David Eltis and David Richardson. While the editors are careful to say that all of their figures are estimates, I believe that they are the best estimates that we have the proverbial gold standard in the field of the study of the slave trade. Between 1525 and 1866, in the entire history of the slave trade to the New World, according to the Transatlantic Slave Trade Database, 12.5 million Africans were shipped to the New World. 10.7 million survived the dreaded Middle Passage, and disembarking in North America, the Caribbean, and South America. And how many of these, now this is key, and how many of these 10.7 million Africans were shipped directly to North America? How many of these 10.7 million Africans were shipped directly to North America? Reggie, I already know you know, but it says only about 388,000. And again, this is like their best guesstimate. This is a guess, y'all. This ain't fact. Okay. Only about 388,000. A tiny percentage. We're talking less than 4%. Okay. I think I just landed my plane. I think you see where I'm going with this, Reggie, right? So when I read things like this, and then I think about my academic training in college and all these degrees that I have, and I think about all the work that I put in, and I also think about, and what begins to start happening is you realize that there's a lot of things just something ain't right. I have questions. And these things should be explored and unpacked. We shouldn't just hold on to a narrative because it's a narrative. And the one thing we know about science or about any theory ain't fact, period. And we also know that things are updated. Information is always updated, right? As things evolve, things change. So I just wonder, what is the resistance? Like, why must it be a pretendian thing? Why must it be why must it be perceived as that if the information that's coming out is clearly showing that what we have been taught is questionable at best?
So you want my answer, or you?
I would love for you to jump in. Absolutely.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so Henry Louis Gates is a scholar. He has a PhD in kind of like not anthropology, but more like literary kind of anthropology. His dissertation, I think, was The Signifying Monkey. For years, Henry Louis Gates was a paid shill for other groups. He attacked Dr. Clark and Leonard Jeffries and a majority of Black scholars. And he actually talked about me in an article called Black Demagogues that he wrote for the New York Times for an op-ed. There are different scholars that have different numbers. So he didn't cite exactly that particular number. So what we say is that, fine, that's what he said, but that's not the whole truth. To say that only 388,000 were shipped to the Americas is something that we can explore right now. But the fact of the matter is, in the New World itself, in the United States itself, the population was a dwindling Native American population based on viruses and warfare, because that was the first conflict between the Spanish and that came to this New World, and then in the South, in the Deep South, Florida and stuff like that. And then in their wars in South America, but let's just limit it to North America. So you don't have a whole lot of population. How many white folks? Does it say how many white folks came to the United States? It's just pointing to Africans. But even if we take that number, even if we take that small number, there wasn't a whole lot of white folks here, right? The white folks can bring first what they can manage, and then it's over a time period. And so because you went to the university just like me, and you probably have, you definitely have a master's degree. You know how to research. You know how to look at multiple sources to verify. So I would say that number is much larger. But then the other side, the flip side of it is the into the Americas was a small portion compared to the Caribbean. The Caribbean and South America was the largest population. And then over time, Africans were imported. That's the trick question. They weren't imported directly from Africa. They was imported from holding places in the Caribbean. And so analysis and reading will tell you that from Africa, you're going to hit places like from the south, you can hit Barbados, and then you're gonna move up. And those were the holding places. But some of the groups of people, the slavers imported them directly to places like Brazil and Curacao and other places. But if you're talking about just North America, and I think that he's talking about North America, I would take that number into consideration. But over time, the import wasn't directly from Africa, which we call saltwater Africans. That many of them was first put to the Caribbean because the ships would have to restock, house, get water and all that, and recover. And then they would set up trades to the places in North America. And at first, there wasn't a whole lot of need for slaves and let's just talk about the British slave trade, because there's a Spanish slave trade, and then there's the British slave trade. So the British slave trade, America for them was undiscovered. They came there pretty late, considering, and they were setting up shop, but they was trying to they had to have a need for slaves. You have to have a need for slaves. So the question is, the growing slave economy causes the need for more slaves. And if you have a economy like a cotton or tobacco, you have a need. So that's my initial point. I'm not going to do a search right now, but I'm going to accept 388,000, because I think that you're trying to make another point, and we're going to get to it. I see where it's coming.
Okay. Sa, if you want, Reggie, are you okay with allowing people to start coming upstairs?
Absolutely not.
To hit the link to join?
No,
what?
absolutely not. We're going to finish talking.
No, okay.
It's just me and you, girl. You invited me, right? You invited me.
But we can.
Right? I'm not interested in nobody.
Reggie, come on. We're gonna open up. I think we should, or at least answer some questions from the chat.
You need two to tango. You invited me here. We've only been talking for a little while, so let's talk more.
Okay, no problem. I'm just saying it's 9:12. We got until 11, so I'm just throwing it out.
Russian is a bad date, right?
Reggie got a date tonight. That's what it is.
I said no.
I don't know what's going on tonight. I don't know. I
said no. It's a bad date between me and the sister.
Right? Oh, okay.
Well, hey, Reggie, let me just add on a little bit. Yeah, I definitely understand what Dots was saying when she was talking about growing up and stuff like that. Now, I've never heard none of that stuff either. What she was talking about, I've never heard that. I'm a 60s baby, so I've never heard African and African American. I never heard that either. To keep it a buck, Reggie.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Now I'm not saying I'm not going against that, but I'm just saying we are definitely different people, Reggie.
That's not what
we look different.
Yeah.
We look different.
Talk about it.
We cook different. We have our own style and our own skills. That has a lot to do with no, I'm just saying we are definitely totally different. That's not saying I'm against African people. I'm just simply saying we are different people, brother.
Yeah.
We got to look at that and see that. They know that we are different people.
Can you
When you look at their feet, they all have the same feet.
who is the same feet?
Africans. When you look at us, we all have them near the same feet.
What?
Y'all don't get it.
You can't know? I'm gonna tell
When you look at Africans' feet, because I see their feet a lot. They wear sandals where I'm at in Harlem. And you can see the back of their feet, and their feet is like the same color. It's like a dark yellowish color. Like you see our hands? Our hands.
Yo.
Hold on, Reggie.
I can't do this. I'm a scholar. You're doing the same thing that white people do to our people.
No, I'm not, Reggie.
Right?
I'm not doing the same thing white people do.
You're looking at little phenotypes and you're saying that all Africans have the same feet. Are you crazy?
Oh.
Every African I seen, they all have the same feet, Reggie.
Have you been to Africa?
That ain't got a damn thing to do with it.
No.
Reggie, I've seen Africans from different places in Africa. From different places,
Ethiopian
and they all look the same. They all have the same feet structure and all that.
You make a lot of valid points, but
yeah.
And this is like
wait.
Ethiopian
people.
It really is.
So Ethiopian people have the same feet. That's how you're classifying Africans? Are you serious? Are you serious? You're classifying Africans by the same feet. Same teeth, same color. Africa is the most diverse population of humanity on the planet. So being that they are the most diverse, they have the most diverse features. Head shapes, nose shapes, lip shapes, feet shapes. But you're a feet man.
I don't give a damn what nobody say. We are different people, brother. We are not the same people, man.
Then why would you say some daggone stuff?
Hey, I said it. We are not the same people. I don't take it back. We are totally different people, brother.
Wait,
we are not the same people. That's not saying we don't have African ancestors. I ain't saying that. But we are different people.
But I'm gonna tell you this, sir. Right? Have you ever been to Alabama, sir? Have you ever been to Mississippi, sir? South Carolina, sir? Right? Florida, sir? You see people that look just like saltwater Africans, the Geechee Gullah people that they never left. You look at their feet.
Bring up one.
I'm not doing that with you, sir.
Bring up one, Reggie. Google one. Let me see him.
No, sir. I'm not. The chat knows I'm not doing it. Have you ever been to Mississippi? Have you ever been to North Carolina?
Hey, listen. I am speaking for myself. That's exactly what I'm doing. No, somebody said speak for yourself. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Okay,
I'm
then
speaking for myself.
You don't know enough. You don't know enough.
I know I'm not the same people as the Africans. I do. That's how much I know. I know I'm not the same people as the Africans on the continent. I do know that. I know we are our own people, and that's all I need to know. I don't need to know enough. At least I know that much, that we are not the same people. And by me saying we are not the same people, don't mean I hate no goddamn Africans. I'm just saying we're not the same to me. Y'all could be the same if you want, but I'm saying me, I know I'm not the same.
Well, they'll tell you themselves. I mean, I don't think that that's a negative thing. I don't see why that's perceived as negative. Like,
Africans to tell you that they're not the same.
Can I ask you a question, Sai? Real talk. As much work as you've done in Harlem, and I want you, please be as honest as you possibly can. How much support would you say Africans, real Africans, continental Africans, or the legit African Americans, those that were born in America and have African parents or African grandparents or great grandparents that they can actually name, how much support have you received from them, just like over the decades of you doing this work?
Oh man, I honestly gotta say none. For over 20 years on them streets, none. And not only did I not receive support from them, we didn't even see no goddamn support from them when we be having marches. When our children get shot down in the street, you don't see them nowhere around us. But when they get shot down, who's around there? We are. We rolling for them. We got they back. We marching for them. Amadou Diallo, need I say more, Reggie? There's a lot more. You know, even Abdullah Weema, you know, is much more. And that's all I'm saying is that we don't see them in our struggle, bro. They have their own struggle to deal with.
That was a question she asked.
That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm saying. And that don't mean I hate the brothers. I don't hate them. That's not what I'm saying. I just see the difference with us. I can look at my mother. I can look at them. I can look at their mothers. We totally different people, brother. Come on, man. And for us not to wake up and know that by now, we're going to always be getting dogged.
You know what, Sam? You know, when you were showing your when you went to your grandfather's funeral or your uncle, I forget, somebody in your family passed away.
Yeah, my mother.
Mm-hmm. And you had a spiritual reset too, right? Right?
Yeah.
And when your great uncle or your uncle was sharing,
my mother brother.
Okay, was sharing your lineage.
Yeah, and my cousins.
And your cousins, right? They were on it. And some of them had on African garb, right? It is what it is, right?
Right.
But when he was speaking, when that elder in your family was speaking, did you ever think to ask him to show a DNA test to prove that what he's saying is true? Would you have ever asked him?
No, I never even asked him that. I wouldn't even ask him, can you prove it? Come on, how would I look like asking my uncle that? He's way older than me.
Let's take it a step further. So when I hear, and I have heard this a lot, I've heard them people mock and say, you believe your grandmother? Yeah, y'all crazy. Oh, your grandmother told you that?
Right. I used to say that.
Your mother told you that? What they know? What do they know? They just the people who you came from. They're just
when I heard my uncle on that podium, and when he started talking about the Washita Indians and Long Island and how my grandfather was taken back to Long Island to be buried next to his father, I was like, me and my cousin was sitting next to each other. You might not know him, but you know, he go by the name of 10 Toes Down. And so when he said that, me and him sitting close to each other, and we just looked at each other like, yo, did you hear that? And I was like, damn, why didn't I hear that? Why didn't they ever teach us that?
Because that wasn't the narrative. The narrative was that this is what, because it removes you from the land, period. If I'm constantly teaching you and telling you that this ain't your homeland, that you have no roots here, right? That your stake is not in this, despite the fact that everything in your life, despite the fact that your bloodline, your genealogy, the people in your family, the people who gave, is telling you, right? That no, this is your story. This is who you are. But everything, the schools are telling you you're wrong. TV, Pan-African became a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It became something, in my opinion, Pan-African is nothing different than what FBA. Well, I don't agree with FBA, and I'm not FBA, but I'm saying in terms of trying to like amass a people or get people to come under a different paradigm. It's a movement, right? And I'm not FBA. I don't promote that at all. That's not my thing, right? But I always say to people like, yo, if I told you I was from Senegal and I said to y'all, I'm from Senegal, and no one would say to me, show me your DNA test. Y'all would take it as law. So when y'all start asking them to show the DNA test, you ask me. But until then, the same way you give respect to everybody else in the world, when they say my people are from here, you do the same on my side. But then again, I'm not asking for your approval either, right? But something has to give with that. I don't think there's anything more disrespectful. I don't think there's anything more self-hating than to say that the people in your family and your bloodline who you're proud of, because if you don't stand for anything else, it should be your bloodline. It should be your family, not the community, not people you don't know. It should be your sons, your daughters. That's what matters. That's your nigga.
Can I speak? You invited me on this show.
Speak, brother, speak.
Friday night. I'm asking because you were having this conversation for at least 10 minutes, and I'm sitting on the sideline. So now it's can I present?
Yes, sir. Of course.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Beautiful Dots here. Look at Dots. She's beautiful, right? She's a beautiful woman, right? If I said that Dots is a beautiful black woman, she would get upset.
No, I wouldn't.
Because Dots is not a black woman.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't get upset. Why would I get upset? I would say,
But are you a black woman?
Sure.
You are sure. Okay, watch this. Are you?
But I'm saying that, Reggie.
No, I'm
it's a social. You and I both know why I'm saying that. Black is a career.
Are you a black woman? Yes or no?
What are we doing?
What are we doing? What? Where we go? Why are you getting so?
I'm fine with being a black woman. That doesn't
sit back. You got some wine, baby? Take some wine.
No, I actually have tea. I have tea with a little bit of rum in it.
You want? Okay, great. So sip it, please. Enjoy. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, most of you would say, if you saw Dots, you would say, "Wow, that's a bad black chick," right? Not black is black, but culturally black. But she doesn't identify with black. She identifies with being a Native American, right?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't.
All right. So I'm gonna share my screen. So this is where we get into it. So share my screen, and we're gonna listen to the other. We're gonna listen to the other dots, right? The dots that we know.
Yeah.
So just don't interrupt me. So let's. So you said you don't. What did you say? You say.
Tell me.
Okay. All right. So let me just play it, and I'll get back to it.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So here we go. Here it goes.
Reparations should be for the people. You make a lot of valid points, but and this is, like you said, this is why we keep saying black is very problematic. It really is. And to be honest with you, when I think about reparations, I feel that reparations should be for the original inhabitants of this land. It should be for whether you call them copper colored, whether you call them the American Indian. That's who the reparations should be for. Those are the people who fought those wars. Those are the people, the American Indians are the ones who got busy with them colonizers, right? The American Indians were the ones who made history. The American Indians were the ones who lost the land. Let's be very clear. So if we're talking, if there needs to be protection or reparations for any group of people, in my opinion, it needs to be for those group of people who are the original inhabitants to this land, point blank, end the period.
What can I?
It says foundational. Hold on. Foundational Black American.
I want to skip this part. I want to skip this part because
back to what few reasons for justice. FBA are exceptional people, and we recognize, celebrate, and give honor to that lineage.
She's just reading.
So I find FBA problematic for. Hold on, let me stop sharing that, y'all. 1 second. I find FBA problematic for a few reasons. Number one, when it says like, so their premise is that this is for the descendants of folks who came from slaves, in essence, from Africa. Am I clear on that?
Yes.
Okay. So, and that those are the people, that is the group that came over here and that pretty much developed and cultivated what we know today as the United States of America. So it's problematic at that stance, right? Because I feel like even in their mission statement, that's stolen legacy. That's stolen legacy.
Okay, so one of the things is that reparations should be given to the Native Americans, right? So she's not in the fight for reparations given to Africans. She's not in that fight. She said reparations is for the, in her mind, should be given to the people that were already here, not to the Africans, but certainly if they are, to the Native Americans first, right? That's another thing. So she's critiquing FBA, right? And that's okay because we have an agreement on, we agree on the FBA. But let me continue. So I just want to just get her identity. She's not Black. She looks Black. She's saying socially because she's on our show, but she doesn't identify herself as that. She identifies herself with the people of this land. All right.
Legacy. Because it doesn't make sense. It actually reads like a novel. It doesn't make sense.
So she did say that our story here in America as Africans is stolen history.
stolen history from her people. She said that.
We've talked about this many a times, right? That when you have a people that is coming on a boat over to the United States, into the Caribbean, into South America, and this very small group, okay?
So she's saying this very small group is coming over. So she, I'm not so sure yet, but I'm going to check to see if she's an African slave trade denier. She did give me that quote to say only 388,000, which is still a lot of people. But now she's saying a little small boat.
They had enough wherewithal. They had enough knowledge of the land. They had enough language, right? They knew the soil. They knew how to grow crops. And from this small group, they birthed what we know today. That's foolishness.
So before the Africans came, or about that time period, you have the European settlers negotiating, fighting wars with the Native Americans so they can know what to do. They're understanding the crops. They're doing all of that. So when they bring us here, there's a purpose for it. But she's minimizing the African experience.
Right. And I say stolen legacy because it wasn't those African bonded labor that came over here and done it. It was the Creek.
So it wasn't the Africans that built this land. She's saying that it is the Creek people, right? The Native Americans did it. So we have been lying all this time about or overstating in her mind. Okay, let's
tribes of South Carolina, for example, like the Shawnee, right? That's stolen history. If you're going to, and here's another thing, because I've also seen Tariq Nasheed, right? And his counterpart, what's her name? What's the woman name? Carney, Yvette Carney, I think.
Oh, yes. And can you say as far as this, if that's the FBA website?
Yeah, this is from the official, it says officialfba.com.
Okay, perfect.
That's from the FBA, that says the official FBA.com, Yvette Carney. But I've seen them use information that came from Joel Rogers, J.A. Rogers, who's a Jamaican man, right? He's the one who wrote that book, From Man to Superman, or From Superman to Man. And he also wrote 100 facts about the Negro, right? So you're using, based on your premise, you yourself are using stolen legacy, stolen history. You're not even giving credit to the people who actually fought, who was actually responsible. And it wasn't that very small group that came from Africa. That's foolishness. That's nonsense. It takes decades. Sometimes it takes generations for people to be amalgamated into any society. I talked about that before. If we go.
Okay, so J. Rogers, his whole book is stolen legacy. We're stealing from the Native Americans, the copper tone people that was already here. She doesn't like black, but she likes copper. So she's a copper sister, and I respect that. I would have not known unless I actually heard her. But she comes on this channel and she acts like she's our friend. But this is not, watch this, this is not her fight at all. Her fight is, no matter what we think, we have a right to think. I thought that my beautiful sister here, right? I thought that she was like us. I find out that she is totally, totally different. She's not in our fight, but she puts herself in our fight, and that's the problem. That's the problem. This is how we get co-opted until you actually find out.
All right, Reggie.
No, I'm not finished.
Reggie, man. She's our sister, and she's in our fight as well, brother. Come on, man. Stop that. She's not our enemy, Reggie. Stop trying to make me like.
I am not offended. I'm not offended.
I didn't say that. She can handle her own stuff.
I'm not offended. Don't worry, sir.
She's not offended because this is what she believes in. So she wants to say to us that our history is stolen. And I can respect that. That's coming from her. But don't act like you have anything to do with us. You have something to do with, sister, you have something to do with what your plan is, what your spiritual awakening is. That is not mine. It's a few more minutes.
But when we visit another place outside of the United States or where we're from, right? We don't know the beat of that name. It takes us a while. That just doesn't make sense. If you're talking about the foundation, give credit where the credit is due. That's all that I'm saying, right? And then on top of that, you are actually using and hit a lot of their talking points. I've seen it myself. They're using that comes straight from 100 Facts of the Negro. Joe Rogers. He's a Jamaican man.
Okay, let me speed it up.
That will later leave
I'm gonna speed it up.
Across that they're import, baby. Keep the culture, but going back to like even Tariq, like just the basic mission statement of FBA, in my opinion, I think I would be even more American than those who rep FBA, because if they're descendants of slaves, they're immigrants too. They're immigrants to the United States. Where like in my bloodline, in my genealogy, on my mom's side and my father's side, right? And here's the piece too, because oftentimes when we talk about the Caribbean, people just think of Jamaica, right? Forgetting about all the other goddamn islands. But that goes to show you, because it's so different in all the islands, and from Barbados to the United States of America and back. Like, why did you want me to read that? I think we understood, even before we reference it now as the Caribbean. Like, I know my Nana, she never said Caribbean, she said West Indian. Mm-hmm. And like my family's story and like their history, the men in my family, right, going back to the early 1800s, they were always merchant seamen. They did a lot of trade from Barbados to the United States of America and back.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop, because I said nothing wrong and she said nothing wrong. She said nothing wrong. She said what her genealogy is. She told us what she believes, right? She says that the people that deserve reparations are the people that was already here, right? I think that the sister's family is from Barbados. When whatever happened in Barbados, it was an English colony. It had nothing to do with the United States. The United States never had anything to do with Barbados at all, right? Somehow she migrates to the United States, right? Back to the United States through her family line. So now she's in the United States, but she is from Barbados, I think. So again, Barbados has nothing to do with the United States. So her fight for reparations would be a fight with the British for reparations for harm to her people, her Native American people, right? It's not our fight. And I can respect that. But I don't, my problem is when people come into our midst, this is our show, right? People come into our midst and then they act like they're kind of blending. Well, sister, I would say this, we don't do the Mississippi masala on this show, dear. This is not what we're trying to do on this show. And believe it or not, your story is closer to a Kamala Harris story. Right? It's closer to, and I don't have a problem with Kamala Harris. She lived around Black people, right? She made herself Black people, right? Her mother was Indian from from India. Your parents are from the Caribbean somewhere. I think it's Barbados. I don't have a problem, but guess what? In America, in the United States, in places like New York, you feed off the achievements that our people who called themselves Black, who actually fought the wars, right? What we did in New York, what we did in Virginia, what we did in those places, because we have active records of what we did. So while your family was over there in the Caribbean, we was fighting. So you was fighting there. You was fighting in the Caribbean. You was fighting the British in the Caribbean, right? The Native Americans and the African populations that you got mixed in with, right? But over here, sister, you don't get to say, you don't get to reframe our fight here. Let us have our fight. And sister, you could be with us, you just not in it. You could be with us, but you put yourself out. So I'll stop and I'll listen to what it is, but we ain't doing a Mississippi masala here and all that. We not doing that. We're not doing the blending. We're not doing all that. You can blend. You can be part of us when you want to be us, when you need us, right? You can be part of us, but then you have your own separate mind. And I can respect that, but don't bring it to a Black political
well, this may not be a black political channel, but sa.neter does have training in black politics, and I'm proud of sa.neter, right? I'm proud of him, right? But we don't. This is the problem that we have. So we already have a problem with people redefining all of our people as foundational Black Americans. Now we have people who live amongst us, right? Eat with us, go on our channels, but are completely something else, and don't want to engage in our conversations. Now, I may be wrong. And sa.neter is right. This channel is for everybody, right? This channel is for everybody. I got that. But just tell us who you are. So when I ask you, are you Black? And then you blend, and then I go and hear the video and I find out that you're not Black, right? You don't even really care about that. You actually think you're a denier, respectfully. Then I just say, you know what? And I respect you. You're a beautiful sister, right? You're still a sister. I respect you. I just don't like the double talk. I'll end.
Okay. So this is what I will say. The reason why I'm not offended, Reggie, is because, I was always taught it's not what a person call you is what you answer to. So let me just kind of correct, right? Because you're being very disingenuous, and I get it. I like it. I like this. But listen.
Except for my commentary. Is your family from Barbados? Yes or no?
So if you're going to clip anything of
Let me first, sister.
Wait, no. Listen,
Reggie, you gotta let us talk now, brother.
Listen,
but I'm just saying she clipped me first.
All right, let her talk now.
So if you're going to clip anything that I say and combine it all, that's what you call creating a masala mix, right? A hodgepodge and a mix of just stuff. And you throw it all into one pot. The difference between what you did and what I did is that I played your clip in its entirety. I didn't break it up in seconds and then try to put it together. So it came across as very discombobulated. It came across as very confusing. So let me correct you real quick. Let me correct some wrongs, right? Real quick. Number one, on my mother's side, my mother's mother was born in Barbados. Her father was Blackfoot from the United States. Her mother was a Carib Indian. On my father's side, my grandmother was born in Petersburg, Virginia. The land that she was born on was actually part of the Powhatan Confederacy, was there before 1607. The land is in the family, documented. My grandfather was born in Seal, Alabama, and the land that he was born on is historically part of the Muskogee Creek Confederacy. So be clear that I know my genealogy, Reggie. Another thing in terms of Barbados, like I said in my clip before you mixed it up and kind of put it together, so it created this masala confusing mix, is that, as I said before, every island is not created equally. You and I both know that. Barbados has a very unique history to the United States. You and I both know that, right? We know about George Washington and his family that lived in Barbados and a back and forth. You and I both also know about the landowners that look just like you and I that were in Barbados that traveled to the United States during the slave trade, if you know anything about Barbados at all, right? Barbados actually was one of the islands that was the last to be colonized and taken over because them Indians wasn't having it, like I said before. So if you're going to clip anything that I said, at least do the due diligence and do it right. So no, I'm not a tether. In fact, I'm double-sided American. I'm as American as they come on both sides of my family. So I want to be real clear. Okay, that's number one. Number two, very much so on both sides. Okay. Through and through. And when I find me a direct ancestor from Africa, first name, last name, I proudly will rep that. I have no problem with that. I also wanted to say, this brings me to my next point, and then I'll play the next clip that I wanted to play, because this was my next point. And this is where I think the divide happens, because I've seen you often come on here, Reggie, and you will often try to dismiss or come on here as if in order to engage in a conversation, you need certain degrees, you need certain certifications, right? And I do think that at times that can sound very boule-ish. It can sound very, you talked about the colonizer, that sounds very colonizing, right? I've heard you on here actually say to your younger brethren that you're not qualified to even ask me a question. Where's your library card? Where's your college degree? But last time that I checked, some of the wisest people don't even have that, right? So no.
Why is it different than having facts?
Excuse me, not done, because you did a whole dissertation, you did a whole filibustering for about 30 minutes. Okay, I'm almost done. So I do think, and this is why I do think it's a good thing that there is a shift and that the energy is turning and it is changing, right? Irregardless if you and I wanted to, it's going to happen, period, right? And I think part of the problem becomes where we do have this sort of like difference between how we talk and how we engage. Why must it be necessary for a person to have credentials to enter into a conversation or even ask a question? That's very confusing to me. That sounds very gatekeeperish, if you ask me. So that's why I wanted to have these conversations with you and unpack this more. And I can play the next clip that I wanted to play because I do have to continue this. And this is why I wanted people actually to be able to come hit the link, ask us both questions if they had a question, because that's usually how Sa does his show. But we're good. We can keep it between you and I. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. So I just wanted to clear that up because you made a lot of you said a lot of fallacies, and I can tell you probably didn't watch that.
Fallacies. I have to say, what fallacy did
when you was referencing me when you was
fallacy? No, I apologize if I made a mistake.
You made many mistakes. Yeah, you missed.
No, not many.
You assumed that I had no time. You assumed that I had no ties somehow to the United States of America in some way. You assumed that perhaps I may not.
I said that you're American. You're not black. You're not black.
So you need to call. So maybe perhaps you need to call the people who you was getting these little information from. The people
I went on the page.
Right. Perhaps you need to like do your due diligence.
I did. I went on your page. I listened to it.
You would have known what you were talking about. That's all.
Okay.
That's all. I meant.
You know what?
It's gonna go how it's gonna go.
Speak with Dots.
Yes.
My whole thing is I don't like to have. Listen. First of all, I do have a degree. I have 40 years of experience. I have 40 years in the Black struggle. I have all of that, right? I worked at the Schomburg Center for Research of Black Culture under Howard Dotson. I did do that, right? So I did all those things. I'm telling you, I'm true. You can see me from 1986 on. You can see me. Why should I talk to anybody? How I could talk to anybody, but it's at my pleasure. It's at my pleasure. I only got damn near 15, 20 years of life. I don't need to waste my time on people that haven't done anything. But if they're sincere, I'll entertain them. I have had more debates. I've entertained more people than I've seen many people do.
Reggie,
right? On the streets of Harlem. I have entertained those ideas, and I exchange information, and I give facts, and I give resources. All I wanted to do was I didn't want to have this conversation at all because I knew that this conversation would turn like this. But you're not black, sister. You're not black. You are American. You side with the Aboriginals, right? You side with the Aboriginals, and watch this. And your people, your people is from Virginia, and you have dual in the Caribbean.
Alabama,
type of people, right? So
Barbados, Germany, British. I mean, you name it.
I didn't want to have this conversation, but at the same time, I think.
And I'm not abo, but
I think that we should. I think that we should come full. We should be honest with the people. So now the people, you say I cut up you say I cut it up. You the show was 4 hours.
Okay.
The show was 4 hours.
Right.
I can't take 4 hours to make my point. Yes.
Okay,
sister?
Reggie. Okay. No problem. I understand.
All right. If y'all have any questions, come on in. Ask your questions. The link is in the top. This is the time. Ask your questions.
Come on. Yes. Ask your questions. Come on in. Join us.
Anybody would like to come in. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, y'all. Go ahead. Y'all can talk until this come on. Turtle Gang, what up, man? My man Turtle Gang. Shout out to Turtle Gang in the building.
Yes. Where did Reggie go? Reggie, where are you?
Reggie there. He's there.
Oh, okay. Okay, so can I play another? Should I play one? I want to play one more thing because I know time is winding down. Hold on. 1 second.
The link is in the chat. The link is at the top of the chat.
Yeah, if no one comes in, I'll just play one more thing. One second. I'm gonna mute up. So give me a second, okay?
Okay. Dex, what's up, man? Dex, what it is? What's up?
What's going on, sir?
All right. What's happening? Talk to me. You have a question for Reggie or for the sister?
For the sister.
All right. Let's go.
All right. So my question is, so I heard you say that that you were, well, I heard that you were Aboriginal, right? Or is that accurate? Can you hear me?
Yeah, her joint fell off. She fell off. She'll be back in. She'll be back in. Yeah, what's happening, Apostle? Great show today, Apostle. You was holding it down over there, brother. I was going back and forth checking it out. You was cracking their heads over there.
Yeah, I was trying to I had a good time, man. Good experience, man, to be on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the way you was going in. I like the way you handled it.
Yeah.
And,
But this is interesting too, man. I appreciate Dot for standing up for herself. Speaking that thing, you know. Her life is not that much different from most of our lives.
All right, here she go, brother. Go ahead. Ask your question, Dex. Turn on your camera, brother. Turn on your camera. Dots is back. Oh, man, she went back out. She having problems with her joint. All right. Yeah, go ahead. Reggie, who got a question for Reggie? Anybody? All right, nobody got a question for Reggie.
Yes, I got 2 questions for Reggie.
All right, Reggie, cam it up, man. Revelations, man. Revelations is here, Reggie.
Oh, listen, I'm not camming up.
He ain't got to cam up. I don't need him to cam up.
I just want to. I'm camming up on. Go ahead, Revelation. Go ahead.
Reggie, it's all right. I don't want you to get any peace and blessings to the panel, by the way, and to the chat and everybody that's watching. Reggie, my 2 simple questions is this. The first one would be, because I understand that you have not really an issue, but a need for people to have credentials. So my first question to you would be, can somebody with credentials still, how should I put this? Still get it wrong, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally? Can they still get it wrong intentionally, like lying, or unintentionally, like not having the proper information? What would you say about that, Reggie? Is that possible?
Both.
Okay, good. That's number 1. I just wanted to get you on record. Now, number 2, this has nothing to do with the topic, so forgive me. But there was a time I heard you said that there's absolutely no proof of the Exodus. Do you still stick to that, sir?
Yes, the Exodus according to the Bible, correct.
Yes, sir. You said there's no coinage, there's nothing like in the sea. They should have some sort of evidence, and you said there's no evidence at all, and you're sticking to that, yes?
Do you have a question pertaining to this show? You could talk to me about that on another show when I decide to do religion.
That's my final question. After that, I have nothing else to say.
Okay, I'm gonna mute my mic. I am not dealing with no Hebrew. I'm not dealing with that today. I'm dealing with.
All right, okay, Reggie. Thank you. Thanks, sir. That's it. Yes, sir.
Revelations, how you doing, man?
Apostle, let me tell you something. And sa.neter, I want to tell you that we take apostle for granted, and we should not take apostle for granted. Apostle, I want to salute you in the spirit of truth for correcting Jabari about the meaning of the word take for granted, or the terminology taken for granted. And this is one of the cases what I'm talking about, where I respect Jabari. He has his credentials and he's a good teacher even to me. But on that source, Apostle, you was 100% correct. And sometimes our teachers need to know how to just say, you know what? It's true. Even though you don't have a credential, thank you for the correction. That's all I'm trying to say. But Apostle, I think that we take you for granted and we should not take you for granted. And I salute you, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Revelation. Dex, Dots is here. Ask your question, brother.
Yeah, so my question to her was really about genealogy, regarding her genealogy, and I just had a question about like where specifically did your people come from according to your genealogy?
Dots, you there?
Yes. Okay, so on my, I explained that before you hit the link. On my mom's side, my grandmother was born in Barbados. Her dad was Blackfoot from the United States. Her mom was Kalanango to be exact. On my dad's side, my grandmother was born in Virginia, as I said before, and my grandfather was born in Seal, Alabama.
Okay. So my question is really like, so like, how could you identify with the struggle of Black Americans if like part of your family is not from here, and then you got a whole different side of it that is?
Well, Barbados is part of the Americas, number one, technically, right? But number two, as I said to you before, in terms of my maternal line, my grandmother is from that island of Barbados. Her dad came from the United States. He was Blackfoot. Her mom was Carib. And then on my dad's side, both parents was from the United States. So just if you just do math, basic math, statistics or whatever, you would kind of see where my place is and you know, how I identify and why I identify. I don't know how else to answer your question, Dex. What's confusing?
Oh no, it's okay if you can't.
But I also think that this is also why I have the perspective of why I think it is important. This is why I really do think it is important, right? When we talk about that delineation talk. Okay, because then, especially if you're going at the route of reparations, there needs to be something very specific in regards to the category and groups of people that you're talking to. But that's why when I came on here initially, I said I'm not doing this is not about FBA, because I don't rock FBA's paradigm. So.
All right. Anybody else? Raise your hand, y'all. That's why you got to have your cameras on. You got to have on your cameras.
I have a question.
All right, what's your question? Where you at? Get on the screen. Now I could. Yeah, what's your question?
My bad, I'm at work. I wanted to know if Dr. Reggie has any Melungeon ancestry.
Dr. Reggie, you there?
I'm sorry, good brother. Do I have any what ancestry?
Melungeon ancestry.
What is that?
Okay, so Melungeon people are a triracial group, which was like a misnomer they gave to the people in the Southeast. And a lot of the times they fell under Indian, Indian, mulatto, color, man of color, free person of color. But it's called Melungeon.
No, I haven't studied that term. I'm from Newport News, Virginia. My the majority of my people are Black descendants of the African slave trade, and then I have white people in my family, and then there's mixtures because some of the Europeans have Indian blood in them, and there's a possibility that some of my descendants married people who also were children of people who had Native American in them. But I'm Black American. I show my ancestry, my genealogy all the time. So I don't have I don't have any tribal all my people come from. None of my people come from reservations. And shout out to the people who do. It's just that I don't. So,
Can I?
Sister Freedom, the link is pinned in the chat. You're probably on the other video, like the skinny one. You're probably on that video. You on the wrong one. You got to come on to the other one.
and
Is it
Amon, if
okay?
somebody calls me out my name, can you give them a warning?
Yeah, I
If
will. I will.
if it's okay, can I make one more statement?
Yes, go ahead, man.
Okay, I believe as Black Americans, because we know we're FBA, I believe we should really dive into our genealogy and learning the misnomers and classifications on census records on where we come from. Because a lot of us have admixture and European admixture, and I think a lot of people denounce the admixture, which makes us different. It's called founder population, a term, which explains our ethnogenesis. But I'm 23, so I hit you in your Gmail. If you could just get back to me, and I'm done.
All right. You hit me in my email or Gmail?
Or Gmail, sa.neter at yahoo.com.
That's sa.neter.
Okay.
sa.neter at yahoo.com.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you again.
Okay. All right. Let's go with Apostle. Apostle got his hand up. Let's go, Apostle. Unmute yourself, Apostle.
Shalom to the guests as far and the chat, all those is on the panel. Peace, prosperity, and all that good stuff, man. Dot, I thank you for having the courage to come on and share your ethnicity, your background. And I find it no different from much of us here in America today. Little that, little this. The brother was just on talking about the that word when you're black and white.
Mulatto?
Mulatto. I got a lot of mulattoes in my family. and my wife has a lot of mulattoes in her family. So actually she probably got more than I got. But yeah, a lot of mulattoes. Even some of the people that were native at one time were called mulatto, but they native. So I would show, and one day I think I am going to show a little bit more, but I'm a little covetous because people don't respect people nowadays. And it's been seen that you can share some things with some people, but you can't share everything with everybody.
Yeah, I wouldn't share anything personal, Apostle. Like if
Right.
there's, please don't. That's why I haven't. I don't share anything personal.
You know, the thing is, when you try to show something, that line between personal and, I mean, it's scary. You do something, before you know it, you're showing something you don't want to show. So, like when I first started, I was with 23andMe, and they had me around 60% European. Now, since that, there is no more 23andMe. The business, they went out of business. They went bankrupt. I think it had a lot to do with a lot of false information. Because even during that same period, Ancestry.com had me first at 54%. But I noticed with Ancestry, it's gone down now to 37. A lot of information, it tells me a lot of new information has been discovered.
Yep.
That's why things are changing.
Yep.
And it's going to continue to change. But I caught a lot of grief from a lot of people.
All right. What's your question, Apostle?
I was just, my question, I don't have a question, but I was just honoring her for doing it.
This is not the time for storytelling right now, brother.
It's not storytelling. So I just wanted to tell her that, because honestly, I think that Reggie misrepresented her badly.
Yes, he did. Very much so. Yes, he did.
And respectfully, I don't think that was cool.
Very much so.
But he smiled his way through it and everything, and I leave it at that. But sometimes I have a problem with the word black because people don't understand what that word means. So when you're using these words, so-called Negro, colored, African American, and say you was right. I could pick an African out. I don't care how he's dressed. I can look at his features and tell he's an African. They do look different, but not all. There's a lot of people over there in West Africa today look just like us.
Tell it.
Hey, Apostle.
Yeah.
I come from the era, bro. Remember, I'm a 60s baby. I keep telling people. And the era I come from, if anybody called you black, those were fighting words back then.
Yeah, but we grown. I'm black and I'm proud.
Stop, man. I'm trying to tell you something. Back then, those were fighting words. You couldn't call someone black back then. Because people will, man, that was like disrespect. They didn't use the word black. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
When did James Brown make the record I'm Black and I'm Proud?
I think he made it in the 70s.
No.
Or 80s?
68.
Oh, okay.
In 68.
Yeah.
Right after
they had to do that. But that's why he was doing that.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I'm 10 years older than you, so I go back a little further.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember being called colored and Negro. I remember my father couldn't buy a hat out of a Woolworth and loaf for downtown DC.
Oh, you remember Woolworth?
he could not try the hat on without paying for it first.
Okay, all right. Let me move on. I got to move on. Hey, Rakufu, what up, brother? You want
what up? Hey, what's up, family? Sister Dots, are you there?
I am. I'm sorry. I keep going on mute, so it takes me a minute to get off mute. Sorry about that.
No worries. So earlier, I think it was because of lack of information. I don't think nobody here is conspiratorial. I just think it was lack of information both on you and Sa's part when y'all asked the questions, when have the Africans done something for the African Americans? Because there's plenty of plethora of information out here that I've noticed, at least since the 1950s, that I can go in where it shows clearly that it shows us what all the way up to now. Like, for instance, I'm going to bring up two things. Give me a second. Then I'll be through with it. 1950, earliest clear record. During the U.S. Civil Rights Movement, several African nations were fighting for independence at the same time. Got to remember, they were colonized. African leaders and newspapers publicly condemned racist violence in the U.S. and expressed solidarity with African Americans. Example, 1952 to 1957. African newspapers in Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa regularly published editorials criticizing American segregation and lynching, marches in the streets, Kwame Nkrumah movement in the Gold Coast, later Ghana, criticized U.S. racial I mean, the list just goes all the way. It's just so many stories right here from various Ethiopians fighting and African students in countries like Tanzania, Senegal, Ghana, and Zambia held solidarity protests connected to U.S. racial injustice amongst African American viewing struggles as linked. So it's so much, but we got to remember we didn't control media. We still don't control media. And all of these comments that we are making is based on our ignorance of each other because the enemy is the oppressor is holding us apart. And just like pieces of twigs, you can take a twig and break it individually. When you make bundles, this is the African proverb. It's hard to break them twigs. Brothers and sisters, please stop separating the twigs. Go ahead.
All right. To answer your question, brother, I was answering her question. Is an art to listening. All right, that's my phrase. That's what I do. There's an art to listening. She asked me, did any Africans supported me since I've been out there on them streets?
I hope you're right.
And my answer was no, they have not. I have not gotten any support from the African brothers that have been on the street. Also, I also added that when we have these rallies, when one of our children gets shot down, you don't see them nowhere in the rally. They don't even want to be on tape. They scared to even be next to you. Okay. You know, that's what I'm telling you, brother.
Okay.
I'm
and
not
also,
talking
I get it, and you did say that. I take that.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. I'm not talking about Kwame and Nkrumah or none of them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you from my personal experience.
Yes.
They have not supported me, but we support them every day, all the time.
Okay. Well, I do see Saku over here giving his time to you.
Man, we ain't talking about that.
Sorry. We are talking about that. We're not talking about. We're talking about black Africans.
Hold up, brother. There's an art to listening. I'm gonna say it again.
Listening. You're not,
brother. She said it. I got to put you in the back because you keep taking yourself off mute. She said, since I've been out there on the goddamn street, brother. Since I've been out there on the streets of 125th.
Talk about it, Sam.
Brother. That's what you asked me, brother.
Say it again.
I know we got Sekou up here. I love Sekou. That's
Say
my
it again.
brother. But I'm still saying we are not the same. What's wrong with me saying that? I'm not saying I hate the brother because we different. I love my brother Sekou. But we are different. And y'all got to understand that. I mean, I understand that. Y'all don't have to understand this goddamn thing. I understand that. Me, sa.neter. So that's all I want to say, man. Come on, man. I don't hate no Africans. They will tell you that we different. The Africans on the continent will tell you that they different. They will tell you that they different people from each other. And they are all on the continent. Get different continental Africans. And they will tell you, nah, we different. We not. You go over there and get the Twa. They not the same as the Malis, right? They not the same. They'll tell you we different. We got different culture. So how the hell you think that we the same and we got different cultures? That shit is crazy to me.
And also, I have a question too, because I mean, or not even a question, but maybe just like a statement, and anybody could jump in and tell me what y'all think after. But you know, why? You know, every time that we do talk about this, it's always like, well, we got to remember the Africans were colonized. Come on, like, if we want to talk real, if we want to be honest and talk fact, we're going to have to put accountability where accountability need to be laid at, right? So let's be clear. Slavery been going on in that continent before Europeans ever even entered that continent. Let's be clear. That African slave trade wouldn't have happened had it not been for Africans participating in it. That's a fact.
That's why it was called a slave trade. It was called a slave trade.
Well, hold on. I'm still on the mic. Sorry, I brought me back because it was my turn to talk.
No. Rakufu, pause. You're not going. Let me continue, please. Let me just finish. Let's talk fact. Because a European who don't know that landscape, who don't know that terrain, cannot come into that continent. Now, everything we done heard about Africa is that these are some powerful, big, strong warriors. They'll chop your head off if you come on their land and mess with their people. So you mean to tell me you had these colonizers coming to a territory that they supposedly never visited, never been in, don't know the language, don't know the land, don't know the terrain. They came, walked into the bush, because they didn't just stay on the coast. They walked into the bush and gave them Africans that work to the extent that these
you better talk about it, girl.
That these strong African warrior men allowed their men and their children, their women and their children to be raped and slaughtered and kidnapped and just like marched out of the bush and walked miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles back to the coast. What are we saying?
So can I speak to that, Dots?
So if we're gonna be honest,
well, now you're gonna say that, but you're not gonna look at your old men that came out of your loins. They weak. You talk about your black men of America. How did you get your black self in slavery if you so strong?
Wait, what?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
You
Yeah,
talking about the weak African, how he's so strong, he couldn't have let nobody get in. Oh boy, Dex threw up the gun. The guns got him in. Did you not know that?
To listening.
It's an art to understanding. It's an art to understanding.
He is not.
Rakufu, what I'm saying is that
you don't know the history.
Rakufu, in order for there to have been a slave trade, period, it could not have happened without the Africans' participation and approval. That's it. That's all.
And also the side statement earlier, he said I don't argue the fact. I don't say we all like robots, one people. No. The Europeans are different damn people. Wake up. It's an art. Use your own thought. It's an art to listening. They were smart enough to come together as a European people and unite and say the white man's burden. No matter if you was a French, if you was a Nordic, if you was an English, if you was a sunny Italian, they was white people. Wake up.
Sa, can you
They don't always get along.
They get along enough to explain your dumb ass.
They fight each other. They kill each other. They do all. They even enslaved each other.
Hey, so
Yes,
I hear a contradiction in her statement where she said,
sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Dex. Go ahead.
It's a contradiction in your statement when you say how were the Africans able to let that happen to themselves, but then again, like you guys were supposedly the ones that have always been here as FBAs or whoever you claim to be have always been here, and y'all just let them come here and take everything because y'all don't own anything. Let's be serious. Like we just having conversations without having critical thinking here. You know what I mean? Like it's just not making sense. We own nothing here, but then all of a sudden y'all want to claim everything over here as y'all's. It's just not making sense, and they not gonna just give it to you. They have military, they have CIA, FBI, all these institutions to take it from people. So why are we still asking for anything? They took it in blood. You're gonna have to get it back in blood. That's just how it is. And
Can I say something? Can you hear me?
Hold on. A lot of people ain't willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. A lot of them not. That's just my opinion.
Can I say something? I don't know if y'all can hear me. Can you hear me, Dots?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, because I had to come on my phone. That was just
Freedom.
so hi, everybody.
Hi, Sister Freedom.
Hi, Dots. Hi, Brother Reggie. Hello. Everybody. This is a good conversation. And the brother just went from one thing to another just now when he was saying something. I don't think y'all was talking about reparations, were y'all? But regardless, it could slip into that. But let me just ask a question. With all these so-called Africans, if that's what you want to call them, because I'm still trying to figure out how that continent. But see, nobody never questions them on how they got there. But that's never questioned. Just like Chinese people is never questioned. They come from China. It's always questions about us. But if it was so many Africans that came over here, the millions that they talk about, why we don't cook? They would have brought their traditions over here. They would have brought their culture over here with them when they came. Why we have our own culture? Why we have our own way of cooking? Why we have our own way of dancing, our own way of singing, our own way of everything? If we are all descendants of these people, why don't we do? Excuse me. Sorry. Why don't we do anything that they do?
We do everything they do.
Absolutely not.
The tote bag, you call tote bag, words you use out of your mouth, words like tote bag come from Africa. First of all, you answer the question, you got to listen to the answer.
You were interrupting me. Who is talking?
First of all, bag and go back to Suma. Man, what are you talking about?
Wait a minute. Was that Apostle? Because I don't know who is talking right now because I'm on my phone, so I really can't see the person. But
I'm sorry, that was Rakufu.
Oh, I should have known. I should have known. He keep opening it. Rakufu, be quiet, please. And I'm gonna say please. Okay. We do not cook like them. They don't eat soul food like we do. Okay. They don't dress like us. They don't dance like us. They damn sure don't sing like us. Okay. They have their own set of things that they do. All I'm saying, and if we're the descendants of a people who came over here and you're saying that there was no black people over here and we're their descendants, we should have all their stuff. We shouldn't be doing our own thing because keep in mind, we can't even say we do it like the white man because the white man cooks different too. We have our own way of doing everything.
Hey,
So
hey, so
I'm trying to figure out if it was so many of them, then why don't we do nothing that they do? And we don't even cook rice the same way.
All right, let me bring on hold on, let me bring on Dazali. But before I bring on Dazali, like I was saying, they know that they are different from each other.
Right.
Hold on, y'all. They know that they are different from each other on the continent.
Right.
How come we don't understand that? How come we don't know?
I got
that
one more
we're
thing
different?
else to say.
Yo, hold on. How come we don't understand that? You got the Yoruba from West Africa, the Berber from North Africa. They don't have the same culture. They know that they different. You got the Zulu from Southern Africa. You got Zimbabwe. You got the Ethiopian. You got Fulani. You got all these different ethnic groups that's out there, and they know that they are all different. Now we got the I'm putting up quotes, air quotes, African Americans. We think that we the goddamn same. Something wrong with y'all mentality, man. And you think when somebody say no, we are not the same, you think that's saying something like, "Oh, we hating." Oh, I'm gonna speak for myself that I'm hating on Africa because I say I'm not the same. No, I'm not hating on them. I'm just simply telling you we're different. You got the Kemetics, the Egyptians, Kemetic people. We different. We different.
So I had one more thing else to say.
Yeah, make the last thing, and then I gotta bring on Dazali.
But can I finish? Because I wasn't finished. I want to make something clear. Okay. I want to make one thing clear. When I was young, and I've said it on here before, I didn't go to school with any Africans. They were nowhere. I'm from Atlantic City. My family, everybody knows my family's from King William County, Virginia, and Georgia, and Richmond, Virginia. Okay. No Africans in my schools at all. I didn't start meeting Africans until I was in my 20s. I mean, really, I'm just trying to figure out if there was so many Africans here, why they weren't in our schools. And no, this stuff about calling each other African American, that stuff just started to almost the 90s, the late 80s. We was Black, we was color, and we was proud to be Black. I mean, it was just an era. We weren't African. So I don't know where this is coming from, that we up them because they damn sure don't up us. Everything that they do, they do. They don't give us no grace for copying off of everything that we do. None of the other races do, and everybody copies off of the copper color or Black Americans. Every race that's out there copy off of us, the way we dance, the way we sing. They try to cook like us, everything, but we're not trying to be like them. And that's facts. Now you can say whatever you want. Jesse Jackson started that African American stuff, and we just been doing. We always falling into somebody else's stuff. We're our own people. I'm sorry, but we are our own people.
All right, Dazali, what up, Dazali?
What's up, big brother Star? What's up, big brother Reggie? Peace to the sister Dots. Peace to everyone on the panel. The first thing I want to do before I ask Dots a question or two, I want to try and answer the question that was just answered. And one of the first things I want to say is I live down here in Florida, but I've spent a lot of time up in New York. And one of the first things that I've noticed is that we're pretty different. We're the same, but we're pretty different. You know, which one of you put sugar in your grits? Down south, that's almost unheard of.
Yeah, I put sugar in my grits.
Yeah, I did that a long time ago.
That's good, son. That's good.
Or or if you even eat grits. A lot of the people I know didn't know what grits was. So keep in mind, we're only separated by about 40 years. By about our relatives moving up north about 40, 50 years ago. So we're only separated by that little bit of time, and we're already having changes in our customs and culture. So imagine being separated from a continent 300, 400, 500 years. Yeah, you're going to be different than them. But that's just my attempt to answer that first question. I could go deeper, but I wanna get to the question that I wanted to ask the sister that was on the panel tonight. The sister said something that stuck with me and made me want to ask this question. The question I wanted to ask her is, would you agree that we supposed to be more, how should I put it, sophisticated, more educated than our ancestors who may have told us certain things, because I don't know, maybe your family was always educated and your grandmother and great grandmother were one of the few Black people, well, I don't know if I should call them Black, Indian people who went to college and they were highly educated. Mine weren't. My understanding of my grandparents and great grandparents, well, first of all, education was not as accessible for them as it is for us. They had other things to worry about. So my parents sent me to school and said, son, go and learn things that I didn't have the opportunity to learn. So I've always seen myself as having a responsibility of being better and having better information than what my parents had. Some of our grandparents told us that thunder and lightning was the devil beating his wife. We supposed to have better information because we have better access. So I would ask the sister, does she agree with that?
Sorry. Okay. So you was asking me no. So my family doesn't come. If I'm hoping I understood your question correctly, I apologize. So no, I don't come from quote unquote a formally educated family at all. I think I said that earlier. I absolutely do not. But I do not believe that having a formal education is what makes you educated. I think maybe you're more knowledgeable, but that doesn't make you wise. And I would never. I'm sorry. I would never say that a book that I'm reading, a source, a third party, a tertiary source, a secondary source, could never tell me who I am and who my people are. And I'm going to take that over what my grandmother, grandfather, I would never do nothing like that. That's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. So I would say that I came from a family of wise elders. They weren't educated in the formal sense, but they were definitely wise.
Okay. I could go further, but there's many people on the panel. I'll just go with my second question to hurry up and get out of the way. I've heard you and Dr. Reggie, Brother Reggie, mention that you have a master's degree. Not really bringing that up. I would have to add, and this question may actually answer the Brother Revelations question about can someone with credentials be wrong or whatever about certain things. I'm going to ask you, do you accept evolution or do you have a problem with it?
I don't want to get into that science stuff. That's really not my lane. And this is where I'm a very humble, to be honest with you, like I said before, I'm big on feedback. This is why I don't get upset. Y'all can call me whatever, say whatever. I'm not going to take it to heart. I welcome it, right? And if I don't think I know something or I don't want to engage, I'm not. So science is not my lane. I'll defer to that. I'll just leave it there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sister. And I really want to give you props for even saying look, that is not my darn lane. Just like if someone asks me something about the darn Bible, I'm gonna say I don't know, brother. But that's a big deal. I want to say thank you, and that's all that I have right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let me go on to Queen Nepal's in the building. What up, Nepal? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, peace. Thank you, sa.neter. Peace to Brother Reggie and Sister Dots. I see you, Sister Freedom. That was a great conversation. Got a little heated. I liked it though. I liked it. It was great. You did great. I wanted to ask some questions first to Dots, and then I don't know, and then of course Brother Reggie. I'd like them to address this. I agree with a lot of what Sister Freedom said about and Dizali about us being unique. I want to take it to this land as far as what about the conversation being where we have so much connection, like with people who are indigenous of this land and African from the progeny of the slaves of the slave trade, the African slave trade. Is there any room for a conversation where we can say there were people here that the phenotypically look like Dots and me and sa.neter and Brother Reggie? There were people here, and then colonizers brought Africans also from the continent of Africa here through exploitation, slave trade of African people. Can we talk about how, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to start with if you get what I'm saying, Dots. Is there any room for a conversation, or do we have to say, no, we're either or, we're either the indigenous?
Oh, no, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. I think, and that is why I was saying before in the beginning of the conversation, like, I love conversations like this about identity. It's going to get heated. It's going to get passionate. You're talking about people's identity. You're talking about people's family, right? And so of course, it's going to be passionate and heated. And I think that there should always be conversation. That's why I wanted to have a conversation with Reggie, because I know that he sees it from a different lens. And as I said before, I respect him greatly. He's done the work, right? He's put in work. He's definitely put in time for his degrees. And I said before, I respect him. That's why I wanted to have the conversation with him. I think though, and we can acknowledge that, right? Like I would never be the one to say that slavery didn't exist. I've never said that. But I think people like putting people into a box. Like, it's important for us to, like, when Dex came on, he was like, to the Sister Dots, what are you, abos? Or it's almost as if I have to be able to identify you and lump you into a group of people in order for me to have a conversation. Because if I can't identify you and lump you and pinpoint you with with a certain group or under a misnomer, it's like all of a sudden, it's sort of like, oh, now I have questions. Who are you? Do I need to know your name? No, you don't, sir. No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm telling you who I am. You could respect it. You could take it or not. That's up to you, right? But I'm very clear about who I am. Very clear, right? And I think that conversations need to happen. That's why I love conversations like this, and they should, you know? But respect have to go both ways, and especially knowing the history of America and knowing how just like crafty and mixy and dirty this game has been when it comes to paperwork, when it comes to changing racial classifications historically. We like to talk a lot about scientists and this, that, and the third. We can't ever forget, the Plecker dude, Walter Plecker, right? That monster, that psychopath, and what he did and how many people he affected, right? So this is some real conversation. This is some heavy stuff. And when you realize that the bill of goods that you've been sold, that what you've been learning in these public schools and these college, that you've been fooled, right? That you've been fooled, that something is just not making sense, and you have questions, why not ask them? Why not dig deeper? And when you're finding that what you're finding is completely going against, or it's somewhat changing or evolving or shifting right into a different lane, let's welcome that. Let's unpack that. So I think that's a great thing, Nepal, in my opinion.
All right, Nepal, you finished, or you got another one?
No, that I think that's great that she said we should have these conversations. I want to hear from Brother Reggie, if he doesn't mind. What is his position about the indigenous people being here, being looking phenotypically the same as we do, as like we're similar to us as Africans, or is it either or? Like, Brother Reggie, what I'm trying to say is, what's your position? Do you, I think it was Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, where, you know, we were here before. What is your take on that, if you don't mind addressing that?
We're at war with an oppressor. We find ourselves against each other because of that war. And we don't focus on the person that did harm to both. I believe that the Native Americans, of course, or American Indians, they deserve reparations, but the United States has already given them domestic dependent sovereignty. They've given them a federal trust. They've given them, they evaluated in the Supreme Court. They've never evaluated the African. I think that sometimes there's two different messages. My fight is different than the copper-colored people's fight. So I don't need the copper-colored people to fight my fight. They can fight their own fight, but not on my back, right? Because I'm not interfering in what they're doing at all. I don't go and interfere with them. I respect them. Turtle's out here, and you know, me and Turtle, we didn't see each other in the street, right? I respect what they do, right? But what they do is do it. But don't try to use us and try to convert us into your thinking that we are you, right? Just do you, right? If you don't think that we are right, that's fine. But I have a lot of information on my side, and as far as my education is concerned, I didn't just go to university and learn from white people or European people or European. I went to school and I learned from some of the best African scholars directly from Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben. So my information is not right. And if I had questions, you know what they did with me? They said, well, Brother Reggie, you're a good student. You got these questions. I'm going to take you. I'm going to take you to Africa. Now, I haven't been back to Africa. I haven't been back to Africa since 1987. I don't have any need right now to go back to Africa, right? My fight has always been here. I'm a Black nationalist. I believe that Pan-Africanism is something that should be accomplished, but that's not my direct fight. That my fight is here. But when we are in these conversations and then we come across people who act like us, we're not sure. We're not sure who they are. And then they tell us, or we find out who they are. Okay, you got a different point of view. So let's clear it up. I respect Dodge. I told you in the very beginning. I respect Dodge for who she is. She's just not me. She's just not me. And I'm not her. And I respect that. But then comes the disrespect, not necessarily per se from Dots, but from other people about some of the comments some of the other people said, which I think is enormously ignorant, because some of the people who said that have been around Black people all their lives, engaging with Black people's struggle, and then all of a sudden they something different. Okay, if you're a sister, I can accept that, because you know it's really hard for Black women. So I don't want to ever knock a Black woman for identity. I don't. But I usually just deal with the men, right? Because I can say what I want directly to them, and it's harder for me to say something to a sister because I've dealt with men. You see me on the streets. I deal with men, right? With women, I do have to be a little bit more tender. But if you're going to lie on my people, right? You're going to lie on my people, and I know where I'm from. I search my genealogy, right? I search also my DNA. And I made a mistake the other day, and someone's really mad at me because I said genealogy is the only way, but that I messed up, right? Genealogy can absolutely, DNA actually tells you who your 10th, 11th, 12th, 15th generation people are, right? And mine are African. Mine are not Native American, but I can respect their fight, but leave me alone in my goddamn fight. Fight your own fight and leave me the F alone. Like, don't be my friend. Fight your fight. If you could be my friend, but fight your goddamn fight yourself. Don't try to make me you with silly arguments, right? Because I'm not buying it. I got far too much education, and my elders, look, they are who they are. They said what they say. Now you're gonna erase that. Don't erase Dr. John Henry Clark in front of my face, right? And don't say he was wrong. Prove him. Do the work. But if you're just gonna come and you're just gonna talk without information, and you ain't write no goddamn paper, you ain't do none of the things you're supposed to do. Okay, it's YouTube. Sorry for raising my voice, but it wasn't to you. It was like, fight your own goddamn fight. Leave our fight alone. Don't come on our places and spaces, insult us about our ancestries and what we believe, because guess what? I'm not paying attention to you. Because you know what? You lost the war, and America gave you the Marshall Trilogy. They gave you what they didn't give us. But you're going to talk about a few little Africans that came on a few little ships, right? And do all this reverse migration bullshit. I'm not doing it because guess what? The scholarship doesn't say that. And so all white scholars and black scholars are lying about the African slave trade, and you know best? The hell out of here. Sorry.
I want to say thank you, Dr. Reggie. Thank you, Dots. You want to respond to Dr. Reggie, but I just want to say to both of you, great conversation. I'll go ahead and mute out and let Dots, I think she wants to.
Hold up, Paul, read that on the screen.
Ms. Pooh 4494, thank you for your super chat of $20. She says, for decades, Dr. Claude Anderson called us Native Black Americans and Original Black Americans as a distinct ethnic group with unique historical claims. That's where Tariq said he got the idea for FBA. Wow. Interesting.
All right, Dots.
Okay. Tell us how you really feel, Reg. Tell us how you really feel about your people, man. You know, here's what I'm gonna say. I
respect your people, but I don't care about your people. So I'm gonna talk about my people.
Trust me, we got it.
Okay, you asked me. I told you.
We got it. I didn't ask you anything. I was talking. I didn't ask you anything, but I got it. So tell us how you really feel. And thank you for reminding us. Okay? Because the last time that I checked, some of our most notable Black nationalist leaders also didn't have education. Elijah Muhammad didn't have a formal education. Malcolm X didn't have a formal education. I think you mentioned Harriet Tubman didn't have a formal education. I mean, you name it. The list goes on and on. So as I said before, I don't think that in 2025 that a person needs a degree to enter into a conversation. Again, I will say that sounds very gatekeeperish. That sounds very boule-ish. That sounds like colonizer talk. That's how I feel, and I stand on that. I just don't understand how any conversation can move forward when an elder is coming on and being very dogmatic, and you do that a lot, respectfully, Brother Reggie. Second thing, you said that you have to be a little tender when it comes to talking to sisters. But every time I watch HOK, it's usually men up here, and they're usually crying. They're usually triggered. They're usually in their emotions, and it don't take much. It just takes one comment that a person don't like, and they are triggered in their feelings. We just saw a good example of that. So I ask you respectfully, because I came to you with respect. Oh, when it comes to me, let's just always I don't want you being tender. I want you being as real as possible. You and I both know how we give it up in New York. I'm a female. I was raised in Harlem. I talk with passion. It is what it is. It's part of the culture. This ain't hate. It's nothing. It's nothing but that. That's just how I talk. That's how I give it up.
Okay.
Period, point blank. So don't be tender when it comes to talking to me. I don't like that kind of talk. Because I think that a lot of brothers have been a lot more emotional, a lot more easily triggered, a lot more in their feelings than women usually have ever had when they're on the HOK. And I'll land my plane there.
Okay, so, okay, I will wretch it up a little bit. Your personal family is your personal family, and that has something to do with you personally. Most of the topics that we deal with nationality, we deal with struggle, we deal with sources, right? We deal with sources. When people bring in who their personal family is and try to wrap everybody else around in their personal family about what their mama said or their grandmama said and their great-grandma, we take that with a grain of salt. But the minute that you start
going into history and start talking things about little ships and stuff like that, that don't make no sense. That means that you got to go outside of your family structure.
Let me apologize. Excuse me, Reggie, can I just say, let me apologize if the way that I said that was offensive, because I am by no means diminishing, I am by no means lessening the horrible slave trade that went on. I am not saying that it didn't exist. I've never said that. So to our point, listening isn't art. I've never said that. So if I apologize. Again, that's just how I talk when I'm in the moment and I'm talking and I'm just being, so I do apologize. That wasn't where I was coming from. I wasn't trying to minimize or diminish the slave trade. Let me be clear. But I was trying to highlight some of the lies that we've been told, some of the myths, right? And sort of like resetting some of that. So that's where that was coming from.
I happen to like you, Dots. So, and that's here nor there. And so what a person says is one thing, and but we have a listening audience, and that's another thing, right? And we have a war going on between abos and ignorance, right? About trying to reframe our history. It's them that's doing it. It's not necessarily you. I didn't want to have this conversation with you at all. You know that.
But why not? Why not?
I did because I didn't want to say some of the things that I did to you. I did not. Even though I didn't try to make it personal, I just did not want to, right? Because you didn't start this. I've been around these boards for 12 years, and I've been in the streets for 40 years, in the university for 40 years. So a lot of the talking points that the male abos have are their talking points, and it bleeds into our culture. So now we're divided. We're more divided to a point that now we know that it's not possible to really help each other, right? It's not possible because I don't trust people who have their own thinking of what happened on things like the slave trade and our elders and our leaders. I don't trust them being around me when I'm doing my fight, because I like to know what they are going to say. So that's the point. I have another point, and I'm looking for a document so I can pull it up. But I apologize to you personally, but as far as the fight is concerned, and all these things crazy things that I hear about that I've heard, and I don't want to divide. I don't want to fracture my own friendship. But if I've worked at the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture, I have, and I have a good education. And when I find somebody that I think that needs to read a little bit more, I'm not talking about you. They need to look. So no brother with a bunch of doing it who's 30 years old, 35, doing a whole bunch of push-ups is not going to be bullying me away from what I struggled and sacrificed to learn. And if I'm wrong, I tell anybody if I'm wrong. If I think I want to debate you, I will. But I debate organizations. I try not to debate individual people, right? But now we're here. So now we're here. So we have, and from some of the other people that I've heard, that's where I really heard the hate, Dots, and you helped bring it out. What has the African done for us? I showed you on my other shows, when we got autonomy, we called ourselves African. African Union, African Lodge, African Benevolent Association. There was no divide, but the European ultimately came in and he created the divide, right? He has to break any type of unity. But and as far as artifacts is concerned, with the person that talked about the artifacts, right? Well, two quick things about artifacts, right? One, you can just go to any African burial ground museum and you can see the artifacts that they left. There's a whole, in New York, a federal African burial ground museum. You can see the artifacts that they left. It wasn't Christian, it was African artifacts that they left and other keepsakes, but artifacts from the government. And the person that actually said that, well, guess what? for the African art that you have in your house, right? The African art that you have in your home that for years you shown and you was proud of it, right? I don't know what you're gonna do with all of that stuff. I don't know what you're gonna do with it. I think it's money. I think it's very expensive. It's a nice collection, but I don't think it's something that you want to keep. I just think that you need to sell it, right? So
what you talking about, Reggie?
I don't know.
The person who
dissing. I mean, Reggie has been sneak dissing. Like I'm trying my hardest not to. Reggie, I don't want to disrespect you in any type of
disrespect
way.
me. Disrespect
I don't want
me.
to. I don't want to because
Yeah,
I don't feel
Why
like
don't you?
arguing with you.
Why
That's
don't
not.
you disrespect me because I'm talking politics? I'm just talking about people who for years were African, and then all of a sudden they something else. So it ain't about
First
sneak
of all,
dissing.
okay.
And I don't want to talk to you
Reggie,
anyway.
let's not do this, Reggie. We can do this at another time. We don't have to argue back and forth. I just wanted to ask you one question. The DNA test that you took, and you said that it came back that you had some African in your lineage. Okay. Has it ever got you where you can meet the people that's in your family from these different various places in Africa? Have you connected with anybody from your bloodline? I'm just curious to that.
I mean, if anybody knows anything about DNA, it tells you where your family is in populations. DNA does not give you a name. DNA does not give you a name. It tells you areas. I've showed my DNA, not my tree, but I've showed you my DNA populations. I didn't show you. I showed everybody. So to go and say to anybody that does DNA, and I'm not so sure if you believe in DNA, it doesn't tell you where you are from. But I'll tell you this. My mother's first cousin, first nephew, removed, right? His name is Calvin Pearson. Calvin Pearson is my cousin. He did the 1611 project. He is the person who found that the first Africans came to Fort Comfort, which is now Fort Monroe in Hampton, right? My family member. So my family respects the Africanness. My family does not know, never talk to me about no Native Americans.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
All
So
right.
slow down. Can I finish? I just
Stop.
wanted to ask him one more question. I'm not being mean with Reggie.
Oh man.
No, I'm not. I'm saying, okay. I'm just saying, I don't see no reason why all people of different brown can come together. I never said that. I love unity, no matter whether you from Africa, the Virgin Islands, Dominican Republic, wherever you from and you brown, I think we should all stick together. But that does not mean that we all are African. That's all that I'm saying. I have no problem with the unity. You know, my kids is Jamaican, so I don't have no problem with the other brown people. I'm just saying, you know, I can't be what I'm not. And
All right.
And
Yeah.
wait a minute, Saab. Wait a minute. My house. Let's just make sure it's clear. I have a room with African things, Egyptian things, Buddha, Hindu, Native American. If Datsa has been to my home, anybody that's been to my home, every room has different cultures in it. So no, I will not be throwing away anything that I have in my home.
All right, that's it. Let me say this real quick, man. We as a people, we are destroyed like a mother. I'm just sitting back, just looking at this and looking at us. And because someone called themselves Abo, or we assume that they are this or that they are that, man, we are all the same goddamn people here in the wilderness of North America. Dots is no different from you, Reggie. You are no different from Dots. You are no different from Freedom. The only difference that we have is ideologies and the identity crisis. That's all it is. And we sitting here fighting each other over that. And we thinking that we really got them different. I remember Nepal said something to the Hebrew, because the Hebrew was saying something like, "Oh man, he not us, our people," something like that. And the part went off. She went in and she was right. She said, "Come on, goddamn it!" Something like, "Oh man, you call yourself a Hebrew? We are right here all together." Because I didn't call myself a Hebrew, we think we are different from each other. Muslims think we are different from each other. Family, y'all don't see the European tactic? They really fucked us up bad. Where we fight each other over goddamn titles, man. Y'all don't even see it. And then you wonder why we don't have businesses. You wonder why we don't have nothing going on in our communities. Because we have no unity. No goddamn unity. All we are is consumers. And our children is going to be consumers. And our grandbabies are going to be consumers because we ain't left them a fucking thing. And we think we different. We're not different, man. So what? The nigga call himself an ADOS. So what? The nigga call himself an ABO. We know that we are all the same. Because once you get the information and the knowledge, we understand that we have an identity crisis. You can call yourself black people call themselves any goddamn thing. But we are all the same people right here. All of us, man.
Can you share my screen? No, we got different feet, according to you.
Nah, you just in love with the goddamn African, Reggie. And you don't love your own first.
No,
you
I'm African-American. African-American,
man, I'm not no damn African. We different. We different. I have African ancestry, but we different, bro.
What makes us different? The white seed in us?
No.
So can you please share my screen? What makes us different? You didn't say that to Dr.
What
John.
makes us different?
I'm saying it now. I'm saying it to you. I'm saying it to you. I don't have to say it to Dr. John Henry Clark. We all grow. We all grow, man. At one point, I was a goddamn African. At one point, I was running around saying I'm African. I was running around claiming to be an African.
Okay, look, I do most of my work for African Americans. I work for African Americans.
And I feel that I have grown. Now, I'm not mad at you for calling yourself an African. You know why, Reggie? Because I know we the same goddamn people. I don't give a damn if you say you're African American and I'm this and they that. I don't care about the titles, brother. You care about them damn titles, not me. No,
okay, you have your opinion. Can you please share my share? Wonderful. Thank you so much. So let me just get this out. Okay, we're the same people, different cultures. If you look closely here, you're going to see in South America, you're going to see skulls. This is the Aztec skull tower, right? This right over here is what it looks like right now, right? This is a skull tower. These are different people's different cultures, right? This is ancient mass child sacrifice discovered in Peru. Not discovered in Africa, discovered in Peru. Human sacrifice in the pre-Columbian America, separating fact from fiction, right? That's what they did, different cultures, right? Those are those groups of people, all right? We have to assess, like you say, the similarities and the difference. The Moche people, these are the pyramid builders, great pyramid builders. These are the people who built the pyramids, right? But if you go, the artifacts around the pyramids, they look like this.
Okay.
That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. That's
not a good argument.
That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. So my whole point of it is different people, different cultures. When I go to the Africa, when I look at who I studied as my particular ancestors, right? We have different cultures. So when the Aboriginals start that stuff that they do about hate Africa and stuff like that, you could take this. You could take this. Take that.
All right, so can I debunk Reggie right quick?
Nah, hold on, man. Hold on. Because some people are just plain.
I want to cook them so
some
bad.
people are just plain.
Let me
some
go,
people
bro.
are just, yo, who's talking, man? Some people are just plain retarded, man. You know, here, this nigga says sa.neter was way out of line on Tommy's show. You know why you feel that I was out of line? Because you didn't like me coming in there standing up for the sisters. I went in there because them niggas was calling black women hoes and bitches, including your mother, nigga. Because your mother's a woman too. And they was in there calling women bitches and hoes. and saying all kind of derogatory things about women. And so when I went in there, Tommy acted like a fucking bitch. Straight up bitch. I went in there and said, yo, y'all niggas are very disrespectful. And what did he do? He kicked me out. They kicked me out. And when he kicked me out, he started talking shit where I couldn't defend myself because he kicked me out like a bitch. So you just like a fucking hoe. He talked about your mother. He talked about your daughter. He talked about your auntie. Because when he said women, and aren't your mother's a woman, stupid nigga? Aren't your daughter growing up to be a woman? So that's what he was talking about. And I went in there to defend sisters. That's what I did. And so how the hell I was disrespectful? You just a coon-ass nigga. That's all it is. You just a coon-ass nigga. Simple as that, man.
Thank you, sir.
sa.neter, can I make a statement?
Can I respond to him?
sa.neter, can I make a question?
Nah, hold on. The young brother, where you at? You got to cam up so I can see who talking, man.
It's me, Tyron, Red Sun.
Red Sun, go ahead with your pseudo ass. Go ahead, man.
All right, so Reggie made a homosexual statement talking about the Moche statues, but Africa has boy wives. And also in Kemet, they were catching semen in Set story. So let's not.
Come on, man. We ain't trying to hear all that stupid shit, man. Come on, man. You sound real dumb, man. Nobody want to hear that nonsense. I'm mad because my people is fucking mixed up and confused.
Yeah.
That's what the hell I'm upset about. I'm sitting back looking at this. Go ahead, Dex. Unmute yourself.
Okay, my fault. So I was just hearing the Paul when she said she asked a real good question about I forget specifically what it's about, but what I would say is that what we're having here is just a timeline problem. Like a lot of abos and like FBAs, they're saying like we were always over here, right? But we're not negating the fact that we were here before anybody came here, as far as like the Europeans and the transatlantic slave trade. What we're saying is like, what period of time were you guys claiming to be here before everybody else? That's the good question.
Watch this question. For yeah, I may not have a goddamn degree, Reggie, because I hear y'all talk this degree shit all the time. But you know what I do have? Common fucking sense. I got common sense, man. And so now I'm gonna ask you a question, Dex.
Mm-hmm.
Where do Europeans come from?
They come from Europe, right?
Who are the first people on the earth?
Not if you're from the
Hold on, be quiet. Who are
Sorry,
the first people on the earth?
Come from Africa.
Be quiet, y'all. I'm talking to Dex and Reggie. Where do Europeans come from?
Drop a bomb.
Hold on. Where do Europeans come from?
I get the question that you asked.
No, my man, answer me, man.
I'm answering.
Where do Europeans come from?
They come from Africans, but I'm saying.
All right. How did they get to Europe? How did they get to Europe?
Let's go.
I get that, but hold on. My question.
Let me stop you because you don't want to answer me, Reggie. Let me go to the degree man. Let me go to the man with the degree. I'm not putting no shade on that. Reggie is a very intelligent brother, and that's why I listen to him. Brother, be quiet. Be quiet. You already failed. You don't want to answer the question. Reggie, where do Europeans come from? First, let me ask you, Reggie, who was the first people on Earth?
The African.
Where did the European come from?
People called African.
Where did Europeans come from, Reggie?
Europeans came from Eurasia. That's why it was titled that. But they
so Europeans are not light-skinned Africans. They didn't come out of Africa, Reggie.
They came from Africa.
All right. So if they came from Africa into Europe, what were they before they left Africa?
That's not what the abos are claiming.
Be quiet, man. Be quiet, brother. I'm talking to Reggie. You had your chance.
Okay, so long period, but the people in the Levant, they gave the SLC
gene, which is the
Reggie, we don't need the whole drop down science. Okay. All I'm asking you is, what were they when they left Africa into Europe and before they migrated? What were they?
They were black Africans.
They were admixed people. There was admixing.
Don't even make no sense.
Reggie, my point that I'm trying to make is that they can migrate in Africa, Europe, and all of this. What makes you think Africans wasn't doing the same thing, brother?
They were.
What makes you think Europeans wasn't Africans? Isn't there a people called the Grimaldis, Reggie? That was in Europe.
Okay, so that's what.
No, yes or no, bro. Yes or no.
Of the
there are people called the Grimaldis in Europe.
No, that's what Diop said. Modern science says.
You said no, Reggie?
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
you gotta
man.
have your own genetic markers. You gotta have
modern science updated Dr. Diop.
No, I'm trying to prove a point to show you.
But that is a good point. He said modern science updated. The what? Bomb drop. That's it.
They ain't come from no African. Ain't no white people.
Bomb drop.
Ain't no white people come from us. Chinese people ain't come from us.
Freedom, just sit your butt down, please.
That don't make you already know I'm gonna go in on it. So y'all better let that.
Hold on. Hey, Sa. Now, earlier you said that, and I get what Sa's saying. He said we are our own people now over here, and time change, and we moved around.
My point was, we migrated all over, brother.
The planet, the whole planet. Yes,
we've been here before some goddamn Columbus. So he who controls history put what they want in them books and take out what they want. We've been all over the goddamn world, man.
Okay.
The knowledge that we have, you can put it on top of a damn pen. We think we're the smartest people in the world. We think yo, brother. We think we so goddamn smart, but you don't really have the knowledge that we got. You could put it on the tip of a pen, brother, and still have room left. You know how much knowledge is in this world?
But that's why I have made
it. Hey, Sa, can I ask Sister Dot and Brother Reggie a question?
Oh my God.
Sa, can I ask Sister Dot and Brother Reggie a question?
Rock Hooper, what you should have been doing, what you always do?
I got it. I got it. It.
What you got? What you got?
So this is what I want to ask him, to Reggie first and then Sister Dot. I say, this is how I know my African DNA is real, because the African Americans share sickle cell.
No.
You early.
No. What you should have been looking up is the Grimaldis. That's what you should have been looking up. Reggie said no.
They migrated. I know about the but that's not my question. My question is, topic is, I asked Reggie and I said, African Americans share sickle cell disease with their West African ancestors. Yes, African Americans share the sickle cell trait and sickle cell disease with their West African ancestors, and there's a clear biological and historical reason, because we came out of lands that was deemed malaria infested, so we had to have a certain type of structure. Your DNA, I don't care if you move an Asian cat to Europe for 1 million years, if it's still an Asian cat, it's still got that same DNA. And another thing about what did they say? How they linked? I asked it. What about the original Americans? It's, you know what it said? I asked them about the American. Does African Americans and Native Americans share sickle cell disease to the same degree? No, African Americans, Native Americans do not share sickle cell disease to the same degree. In fact, not even close. It says not even close. Listen to me with all the other. We Africans.
Two different conversations.
Exactly.
Man.
What are you talking about? Okay,
if you even saying that's two different conversations, obviously you have no knowledge. You're just out there.
No, that's two different conversations, man. You better leave AI alone before you go AI crazy.
So don't fall for that.
Rakufo, you tried it.
I see Reggie cooking up something right now, y'all. Y'all look at him. Reggie cooking up something right now.
Can I ask sa.neter, do you believe that white people came from black people?
Y'all.
No, I was just thanking the people. I really have nothing else to say. Funny. I think it was a good conversation.
Yes, sir.
Well, Reggie, you look nice. You look nice, Reggie.
Reggie
Say
is not
thank you. Say thank you, Reggie. Just say thank you, man.
You look very dapper and very sophisticated.
Reggie is not pleased with you, Freedom, tonight. You are not his friend right now.
You did it to her. You did it to her.
Oh, Reggie. Damn. You look nice.
sa.neter loves those hats. You love them.
sa.neter, like Dr. Khalid said, unify or die.
Wait, but can I just say something? Because Rakufu, you tried it. Okay. All you did was prove side point, right? Because you are clearly out of Africa theory. So with that point about the sickle cell, so it goes to size point, because this is why also Europeans, so especially Southern Europeans, also have sickle cell anemia. Yes, it's not to the same degree, but they got it, and they in Europe, baby. So it
They
goes
got it in Asia. What's your point? What's your point?
Can I jump in here for a second on that one?
Goes to sa.neter's point about when, if from the out of Africa theory, Europeans are Africans too.
We know that. I agree with you. I'm not saying that.
I don't.
So
I think all humans come from Africa.
Information, if I could just jump in here.
I don't agree
yes,
with
that.
There's
I know that's your
information about that is an argument that holds people to the Christopher Columbus. Was he here before? Because the Southern Europeans that are showing up with sickle cell, they do have African roots. They have strong African roots.
Yes, they do.
So, and as far as the sickle cell being here, it is strong evidence that. I'm not saying that the indigenous people were not already here, but they're strong. This goes to Ivan van Sertima, where it says we were here from Africa before. That is for that argument. So I do agree with you. It's a different argument. Yeah. But the sickle cell information is very compelling because it is very unique to African DNA inheritance.
I'm so happy he might have been.
What I'm saying is, what you guys are missing, I guess not you guys, but I get your point in the pot. But what I'm saying is, what Rakufu did, all he did was substantiate what Sal was saying to Reggie.
Right.
Because and it goes to my point and why I had initially brought in that conversation about accountability and responsibility, because I feel like in these conversations, when it gets to Europeans coming in and they're the big bad werewolf, right? They get and they deserve it, right? We know clear devil, colonizer, white people, white European. But then when it comes to having a conversation about the role that Africans have played and the degradation and the slavery and all the things, all of a sudden excuses are made, right? When Sal was even asking Reggie started going on about, well, it depends on the marker and the this and that. No, that wasn't the question. We can't keep moving the goalpost, right? Period. And I have something that I can play, but for sake of time, I'm gonna let the brother Callie come in because I know he's been waiting and we've been
right. That's what I was getting ready to say. And then I'm gonna go out and then I'm gonna go around and let people get a minute to close out, and then I'm gonna let Reggie and Dots close this thing out. Callie is active. What's up, brother? Callie is active, P.
That's my cousin.
What's up, brother?
I hope
is it really your cousin?
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Is that really your cousin?
We can hear you, Mike.
You never know.
We can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You can't hear me?
Yep. It's cut.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. You just can't hear
me. Okay, great. Peace, family. Peace to the guys on earth.
Take off your screen and then
you say pick it up.
No, take off your don't show yourself. You're taking up too much
because this is my first time on on live. So
turn off the camera.
Turn off the camera.
Turn off the camera. Which button is that? Is the blue button? Is it the square button? No, the camera.
It's where the camera is.
Never mind. Just go, brother. Yeah, there you go. Just talk
like
now.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Peace, family. Peace, sa.neter. You know what I'm saying? Peace, brother Reggie. Peace, Freedom. You know what I'm saying? Peace, Dot.
Peace.
You know, this is my first time on here. I'm a faithful watcher. Been watching for years. I done donated. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the years, you know what I'm saying? All the time. I done donated $500 one time by accident, but I didn't. I tried to get it, but I didn't. You know, but I wanted to. But from my heart, I wanted to give it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, hold up, brother. That was you.
Back when. Yes, but but it was just okay because I wanted to give it from my heart. You know what I'm saying? All the time. You know what I'm saying? So it happened. It ain't no big deal. But I'm just saying, I've been here. You know what I mean? And I don't get on lives like this. You know what I'm saying? So I watch all the brothers, different channels. You know what I'm saying? Tariq, the movement. You know what I'm saying? I watch, you know, the Morris brother. You know what I'm saying? Morris TV and all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. And I understand. You know what I mean? So from my perspective, you know, if y'all just give me 1,000 pardons, you know what I'm saying? But like one brother was saying, it's a timeline issue. You know what I'm saying? To where I don't hear people talking about no creation story.
Oh yeah,
Folks
we
have denounced Africa, but they gotta make their own creation story. Cause see, if you was here in the 1600s, that only count for the 800s and the 200s and the 100 and the 1 year. You know what I'm saying? So if we got history going back to Africa to the first year, and then somebody come talking about they here in the 1600s and they foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold up, how are you foundation before the Africans? If you show me history where they say everybody come from the Indians, you know what I'm saying, and everybody come out of their DNA, you talking about the white man. It don't say that the white man was necessarily born in Africa, but he might have came from the African seed in Europe. You know what I mean? But so and it's multiple arguments. You know what I mean? You got the FBA, the ADOS, and you know Dot is Aboriginal. You know what I mean? So people is coming from different perspectives. You know
I
what I'm
am
saying?
not
And
Aboriginal. Please,
No,
y'all.
I'm just
With that.
I know you.
Is that my little cousin Lamont? Is that Lamont? Lamont.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
let him
is.
talk.
Oh, calm down,
All right, go
Raku.
ahead.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
All right,
Salute,
little
salute.
cuz.
I'm with you. I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely feel like we come from Africa down the line. Now, how when you got here might be different. You might have came from a different route, but according to all the history that I learned from sa.neter and beyond, you know what I'm saying? It's the trail goes back to Africa. I haven't seen the trail from everybody and all the nations coming from America. Now you can project it, but until they come with some concrete evidence, you know what I'm saying, down the line to really bring that together, you know what I'm saying? Y'all jumping the gun, and then the disrespect is way out of line. You know what I mean? In order to get our points across, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got to disrespect each other and disrespect our different nations. We are all that and some. I am apostle. I am. I am all that. If I come from his seed and I was the first here, then I am all that and some. But we can argue with our leg and our arm and cut off our fingers, you know what I'm saying, in order to get this little fake bag that they dangle in front of you, you know what I'm saying, and can cause our divide that come under this Trump administration when they steady trying to divide all the nations and trying to pick all the people apart so that they can strengthen a white racist nation. That TPSU is doing all this racist, devilish shit, devilish stuff, pardon me, and you know what I mean? It's investigations going wild. And we losing control of ourselves and all our unity. Africa is standing up. They're kicking out European nations, and we're not respecting that. 1,000 parts we talk about Africa, but we're not showing that Ibrahim Traoré is over there pushing the line, kicking folks out, straightening shit. Other nations is joining him. You know what I'm saying? We're not showing Wadabaya that's going around showing all the beautiful things in Africa that they got now, and they got nations and streets clearer than these.
Excuse me.
But some of our people got the mind frame that Africa ain't got nothing, and there's still dirt roads and all that everywhere. No, they got cities that's cleaner than these streets, buildings that's newer than these. You know what I mean? Yes, they do.
Can
yes,
you name?
they do.
Can you hold on a second, sir?
Yeah, look up Wadabaya channel, the biggest YouTuber in Africa.
Yeah.
I was speaking, but you know what I mean.
Want to
Look
ask
up
you a
YouTube.
question. You're on a diatribe. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question? Do you
Yes, you
mind?
may. Yes, you may. Thank you for letting me speak. Thank you for letting me speak.
What African countries that are developed and have cleaner streets than the streets over in the West, especially America and the United States? What African countries are kicking out the Chinese
Right.
And all the tell
Come on, Apart. Come
you
on,
just
Apart.
said they're, yeah, you just said they're kicking them out, and you just said their streets are cleaner than America, and you're doing a disservice to Africans right now because they're fighting. They're begging for help to get rid of the
Oh,
Chinese.
wow. So you
Let
gotta
me answer. Let me answer you, please. Please listen.
go ahead.
Because
Go
you're
ahead.
preaching that they're kicking people
That
out,
was
but
the
they're
point.
begging us to help them get the Chinese out. You're saying their streets are cleaner, but they're asking for help with the flying toilets because they don't have enough of updated plumbing.
No,
So
I ain't seen
they don't
nobody
want you.
beg
They don't want you to
nobody.
get in here. Africans, especially in certain countries, I'm going to say Nigeria. They don't
Thing I
want you
seen
getting
people
in here
begging is
telling
on the
us.
commercials. That's the only
They don't
thing I
want
seen people
they don't,
begging on them
sir,
little commercials they play for you. You
sir.
know what I mean? But I ain't heard no African come over here begging nobody for nothing. I ain't seen no African get on TV begging nobody for
Who
nothing.
said that?
You know what I'm
You
saying?
can't be serious.
Yeah, you just said that they begging us for something. I'm just saying, only begging I seen was them commercials that them white folks put on TV. That's the only thing I ever seen begging. You know what I'm saying?
They
But
beg all on
thousand pardons.
Facebook,
I have
Instagram. They beggars.
sa.neter, give me a second. 1 second, Freedom. When you said that you watch a man who has sold a woman's revenge porn, Moorish World, I knew that you're the type of person you are. I doubt that you were the person that sent the $500, because what you're doing right now, and Rakufu, you need to talk to your cousin. You're coming in here and you're talking, but you're not sourcing up. We source up over here. Now, if you have some sources, if you can show us some African countries that are not asking for assistance getting rid of those people who are exploiting Africans, which are the Chinese, I don't see them kicking them out. They're trying to negotiate. They needed them to come over, and now they can't get rid of them. I want you to show me some countries over there that are kicking out colonizers and that have cleaner streets. Because what you're doing is wrong. I don't think Dr. Reggie would even subscribe to what you're saying. You're not doing that. What you're doing is incorrect, and it's a disservice to Africans. It is. Now, if you have some proof, I'll let you go ahead. I'm gonna hand the mic back to you.
The reason why
here is start
the
missing.
reason why Africans don't have to come over here and beg for nothing is because they are already set up when they get here.
Thank you.
The only one that's oppressed is the so-called African Americans here. They got to keep us down. We the ones that got to stay down, right? But Africans, the continental Africans that come here, they already set up.
They loaded.
Huh? Yeah, they loaded. They can go and get apartments. We've been living here all our goddamn life, and we got to go through so much just to get an apartment.
Yep.
You know, we got to go through so much hell, black people, just to try to get a business. And if we do get a business, the store they're going to overcharge you the rent. But you see these Africans in damn near every goddamn other corner with the hair products, the hair salon, the African stores. I said this before. Be aware, family, when they become police officers in America. That's when your ass better worry. When they start wearing badges and having guns, that's when you better fucking worry.
They do right now.
Yeah, they do. Scams. The two biggest scammers are coming out of Africa and Nigeria.
Can I respond to anything, sa.neter? Can I respond to anything?
On Africa.
Everybody chill. Everybody chill. Everybody chill. Let the brother respond. He wants to respond.
Wait, can I just say one thing, good brother? Africa is about 100 years behind America. 100 years ago, there was horses on the streets of New York, right? That wasn't cleaned up. It's only in the last 80 years that they've actually 70 years that they've actually been cleaning up the street. The South Bronx was bananas, right?
Word.
So I'm not. We are 100. Africa is only 100 years. They have skyscrapers, but America has all the wealth.
You're right. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying. Sorry. I'm not.
Let him talk.
Can I speak right quick about
Let him recalibrate.
Everybody speak.
How much more time are we gonna go? Because it's after 11. I probably got like 5 or 10 more minutes.
Yeah. Hold on, Dots. I got to close out. Go ahead, Callie. Make it quick, because we closing.
Listen, I'm not saying that Africa, the whole nation, is cleaner than America. I'm saying that areas out there, they got countries out there, they got streets that I done seen them. They got streets that's cleaner than my streets. I ain't saying that they've been clean forever, longer than America, or none of that. You know what I'm saying? It's getting took out of context of what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is they got place. They coming up. They're working. They're trying. They say nations ain't doing nothing for us, but they study trying to bring us together and bring the diaspora in. But now we're trying to fight from the diaspora when they wasn't even doing that before. They wasn't doing that in the 60s where they was, but with the Liberia and stuff like that, they have brought us in at times. You know what I mean? But folks that say that our ancestors ain't did nothing. Everything that they accomplished wasn't nothing because it wasn't to your liking, or like the white man wasn't playing these tricks, and then you'll blame the African for the rent. But the white man is the one that's renting to them. The white man is the one that's giving them the visas to come over here and programming them. That's why they have that. Just like they programming us. So all that coincides. So African ain't coming over here renting to you. You ain't renting from the African. The Africans, white man own that. When they come, they get certain benefits because that's what they give them, and they give us our certain benefits. And then y'all claim that they envy us and we lead everything and all this, and then you want to blame them and say that, you know what I'm saying, they got everything. Do they got everything, or do we got everything and they following us? You know what I'm saying? Did we create the Africans, or did they create us? Because we look a little lighter than the blacker people. So all of a sudden we're going to say the lighter people over here, the mixed people over here created the blackest people on the earth. We sound like the white folks. No, you can't go there. No, the black people, it came from black to white. And all of us that's in between that is in between that.
Who says
that's what I'm saying. Importance and peace and all. I know I'm a little controversial in the chat sometimes, but it's all out of respect and love and just a little disagreement with everybody. And I might say my thing, so I know you might remember me from the chat, but it's all out of peace and love. I watch sa.neter faithfully, you know what I'm saying? And this is my show, you know what I'm saying, as well as anybody else's. And ain't nobody running me from it or nothing. So I'm here and I'm a part of it, and I might be in the chat, never pop up again. But this is my spiel, and this is what I feel. And y'all can take it how y'all take it. And peace and love. And you know what I mean? No hard feelings. Chop it up.
Thank you, brother. Peace to you. Hey, I gotta move forward real quick because damn, Rebel Rasta ain't get a chance to speak. Let Dots close out real quick because she got to get ready to go break out. Dots, close us out.
I can get Rebel Ra, I feel bad. You've been waiting for a long time, so respectfully, I'm gonna give you your time. Okay, I would love to hear what you have to say.
Thank you, Dots. Go ahead, Rebel Rasta.
Yeah, give thanks. Blessed to the house and blessed to the panel. Blessed to the viewers. I don't know, Sister Dots, give thanks. Because I want to touch on the Kalinago Caribs because I hear you say you connected with those kind of people. Do you take the Spanish, the European context of these people, or you more have as you say, your genealogy go back to them? Do you have like a different cultural perspective? You know what I'm saying? Where they branded the Caribs, the Arawaks, and these people were kind of eating each other and all of that gruesome cannibalism. Yeah.
That's right. And they branded them like that, cannibalism, because again, in the island of Barbados, for example, is one of the last islands to be colonized. It took them over almost 150 years to even come into the island because them Caribs was giving them the business. You heard me? So
yeah.
To make it, yes, you know. And so to make it seem like, oh my God, they're wild, they're animals, they're this, they're that, right? The story, the narrative became, yeah, they're cannibals. Yeah, they're this, they're that. And I'm sure some of that happened, right? But when you raping and you pillaging, your head deserves to be chopped off. Your head deserves to be stomped into the concrete, into the ground. That's exactly right. So no, I don't. And I also know that classifications change because of paperwork. So because the Arawaks, because the Kalinango, or because the Carib tribes are not necessarily, or in the past, they weren't depicted as how you and I look, brother, even though we know they were dark-skinned, man. They were melanin. They had melanin on them. This is before pre-Columbus. So I would never come before the people ever and play in your face and pump fake my genealogy, pump fake like I don't know what I'm talking about. Understand that I stand on my bloodline and I'm serious about that. So if I come before my people respectfully, I've done the work. I may not expose it by my, because people are weird. I've had that happen where people actually like looked up my grandmother's face and started doing fact checking. It didn't end too well for them because they realized I wasn't lying, right? So I have to be a little bit more protective about my personal information. But I would never play with y'all. I would never.
All right.
Okay, hold on, Reggie. I giving you a question for kind of tickle your mind still, and some people on the panel, because let's say we're looking at Marcus Garvey and we're looking at Dr. Ben, like two pillars of what we know, and we ain't gonna go into blah blah, right? So how we would view these people in the sense of the contribution to American and the repatriation, the African movement, and all of these things that how we would put these people in the sense of repatriation? Would they get it? Would we count them out? How you guys view it on the panel?
Well, I think that, as you said, these were great elders. They did. One had a movement. One challenged European religion and about the origins of a great people, and the other one gave us an idea based on other ideas, Booker T. Washington and stuff like that. But Garvey was able to put it in practice. What we have to do is we have to respect our elders' contributions and continue their mission. Learn from their mistakes and continue their mission. And then and so with that comes study. If we want to look at if we actually want to look at what happened in the Caribbean and America, both when the native population and when they was falling, when the Africans were brought in, they fought side by side in many rebellions. They didn't fight alone. When they were together, they were under the same situation. They supported each other. Today, we have infights, unfortunately, on history, where we need to spend the time trying to figure out if we can work together.
And Reggie, one more question, because I've been holding for a minute. And we talking about delineation. That was like the whole start of the thing, right? So when I was checking
not
it out,
not with me and Sister Dots. That wasn't the whole part, but
yeah, and it have the perspective of legal, geographical, verbal, and artistic, and so forth. And when I check it out, the legal part saying basically, let's say FBA or whoever it is, Negro Universal Association, they need to basically have what they call terms of condition and responsibilities within contract or agreement. And are these groups presenting these things to the government? I mean, any government, federal, world government. Like, are they really doing that, or we just here having a verbal fiesta?
One side of the FBA is very genuine in what they believe. I think Tariq Nasheed is genuine in what he believes. And then there's another group, is the other FBAs, which is the Female Beater Associations, right? These are some of the YouTubers who are actually female beaters, and you can look them up, right? So what happens is it's a conflict within their own organization. Tariq is testing his theory. Some of the people surrounding him, I don't think is too bright, and causing more problems. So that's that's generally my point of my general point. I think that they have to structure themselves in law. I don't think that they've read reparations cases. They told our people reparations is what they're fighting for, but they don't know that they haven't never defined the types of reparations, right? There's federal reparations, there's local reparations, there's program reparations. They've not identified. They held out a carrot saying that reparations is for the ancestry of enslaved, right? But the reparations that are available right now are for harm, right? For if you can say that you were harmed. So you don't really need slavery, right, to make that point. The major point is that we have been harmed, the Native Americans or the people living here in the gray areas who are not in a tribe, who are not black, they have been harmed. We can make a case for reparations, but they're not smart enough. Not them. They're not smart. If they were smart, we would know the smart people in the FBA movement. They don't write nothing. They're just a lineage, right? And they're misusing the word lineage wrong. Lineage is a particular family. It's not a group of people. What they have done is now they have made a big mistake, a marketing mistake, by reframing a dictionary term. But they're not going to listen to me because they're so far entrenched in the cult that they don't know that they're using dictionary words wrong. And so how could you write anything when you don't read the dictionary? You don't know law. I'll stop there. And I'm serious about the Female Beater Association.
All right. Reggie, save some of that for the closeout. Let me get Sister Dots. Close us out.
That was easy. I closed out.
Okay, good. Now let me get Dots then.
Okay. All right, thank you guys. I had a great time, Reggie. I really hope that we're good after this. It's all love. It's nothing but passion. It's not anger whatsoever. I enjoyed the conversation. I enjoyed the people that came up and added to the conversation, and I'll leave it here. I think at the end of the day, it boils down to like a value question, right? Do I value and like, let's say ancestry or bloodline of people that I don't know yet, that I haven't been able to specifically identify, right? So do I revere and value more a landmass across the Atlantic Ocean, or do I value and uphold and revere more my direct ancestors, the people whose first name, last name, place of birth, date of birth, their death, everything, people that I know where they're buried, who they are, when they were born? It's a value question. And I choose to do that. I choose to do that. So I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for your time. Thank you for engaging, Reggie. I appreciate it. That's it. That's all. Good night.
All right. Thank you.
Good night, Doc. I hope that we can talk again under different circumstances. I'm proud of you. You made your point, and that was your point. I respect you. It's just what it is, sis. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Reggie. Hey, Reggie. How did the people look out for you tonight?
Yeah, in money I got about $85.
Okay, I'll be hitting your Cash App too, Reggie.
That's good. See, now you can go and buy something to eat tomorrow.
But the rest of the people, if they could put my Cash App in, I'm worth $5 for my time. I really am.
Good. That's good, Reggie. That's good. So let me go to Freedom. You got to close out 1 minute. 1 minute, Freedom.
Okay, thank you for allowing me to come on. I want to first say, Reggie, I apologize if I said anything that disturbs you at all, because I really do care for you. Okay, I want to make sure I get that done and out the way. I want to say there's no way possible, I believe, that white people, Chinese people, all these different people come from black people. It just
That's because
doesn't.
you're dealing with belief. That's why.
Whatever. It doesn't make no sense to me. So I'm going to say I disagree with that. Right? If you want to say it's belief, it doesn't make any sense. And that is what I feel about that. This was a good conversation, like it always is. And like I said before, we should all stick together of brown hue. I think that we should all unite, but there is a difference. We are different. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say.
Okay.
And
thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to come up, Star.
All right. Rakufu, let's go. 1 minute, man. Unmute yourself.
My whole 1 minute, I'm just going to show basically what my cousin was saying, the 10 cleanest cities in Africa. You can cut me off when my minute go. But those are the 10 cleanest cities in Africa. The water, the roads, the big buildings. This is 10 cities.
Where's that at?
I just started the video myself. It's in Africa somewhere. We'd have to watch it together one day, or it's called the 10 cleanest cities in Africa. If you want to Google it though, Si.
Yeah, that's it.
And so that's just to show they're not living in mud huts everywhere. You know, top 10 cleanest cities in Africa 2025 is the name of the video.
Those the money getting Africans right there.
That's real, right? All right, that's my minute. Peace to the family.
Peace, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, hey, Red Sun, man, what kind of pseudo stuff you closing out with?
So I wanted to cook Reggie because he said a lot of pseudo outdated stuff.
He wanted to cook Reggie?
Hell yeah, I wanted to cook that. Keep using that homophobic pseudo stuff.
All right, we don't want to talk about that, brother. Please, man.
My main topic was to chop his head off with his own emotional spiel about us being African American and African, because a lot of that stuff comes from the Boule contingent and the Freemasons, because they was doing backdoor deals and playing along with the white supremacists. So it was the white supremacists cooking up this back to Africa stuff since the days of slavery. And a lot of these people, even your master teacher, Afrocentric leaders, have American Indian background, such as John Henry Clark.
No, I'm laughing at the comment, y'all. I'm laughing at the comment on the screen.
What did he say?
Because a little bit is crazy.
What does it say?
It looked like he could be the son. He looked like he could be his son a little bit.
That's not a diss. That's
not a diss. It looked like he could be his older son, brother.
Not son. Damn, you make brother law old.
I tried $2 so I could cook this.
Yeah, he looked like he could be brother law, little brother.
Yeah, little brother. Yeah. So let's let him cook. He thinks he's cooking brother Reggie. I don't know about that, but let's listen.
Yeah, so he got emotional about many of us identifying with our elders, identifying as American Indian. And that's valid, because I dropped in the back chat that American Indians were not discernible from Negro slaves. As a matter of fact, if we look into the colonial records, Negro meant a possibility of things such as just servitude at times. And they narrowed it down to an African binary later on, during when we were being freed from slavery. So when we look at these records, you cannot use modern definitions. And also when you're holding your hat on modern science, which is this DNA company stuff, which is pop science, that's not giving you a guaranteed answer to connecting you to a transatlantic slave ancestor. And it's not taking you towards a specific West Central African relatives. What they have collected were 14 regions within the continent of Africa. And they mostly have Jewish and white representation and a limited American Indian database when it comes to our genealogy within the southeastern woodlands and the northeastern woodlands. Because when you look at these museums, they have a certain narrative that they want to go about, is painting the Negro like we were pacifists and taking our whoopings like a champ. And we landed in civil rights era with Obama, and we all overcame all the odds without fighting back. But they don't want to tell the stories about the Yamasee. They don't want to tell the stories about the Akanichi or the Accomacs.
All right, close out, brother. Your time is there. That's your time.
So to close out, I think that Black Americans should listen to their own elders about this Indian stuff, because it's valid and it's actually tied into practical reparations instead of just this African story, which has never helped us out. And I'll yield the mic there.
Thank you, brother. All right, Rasta, close us out. Rastafari, unmute yourself.
Yeah, give thanks again for the panel, and give thanks for everybody that was there with us, giving the energies, and all those people listening same time. And as Reggie was saying, most of the time when we're having conversations, we need to look up the words in order to use them in the right context. Otherwise, we're just having a babble. I mean, most of the information here is very serious to me. But when people start saying they feel like, and and these context, these quotes, or they believe and stuff like that, it's just like, I want to listen to you, but do you have any documents, anything to prove your belief or your state? And I would say no. So in all contexts, we need to look at the information. We need to look at the the dictionary, because we in the English world. So it don't make sense. We keep saying European, and we using European tools, English language, all of that stuff to define things. So we can't get away from it. But if we're going to use it, let's use it in the right context. Blessed Lord Rastafari.
Who's that behind you, brother? I'm not talking about Marcus Garvey, but the other one. Yes.
Rastafari. That was Rastafari Selassie.
Oh, that was Selassie?
Yeah, at a young age. You know what I mean? At the tender age, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, brother. Hey, Nepal, take us home, Nepal.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I don't. Okay, everybody said what they. I don't know if Brother Reggie wanted to respond to that, brother.
No, Reggie closed out twice.
Thank you.
Okay, great. This was a great show. I loved it. It was very. I'd love to see the sisters always.
Entertaining. It was entertaining with the information.
And it was informative. Both of them brought some information out that people need to research. So that's it. Thank you, sa.neter. That's all.
All right. And my closeout is, Reggie, please, brother, don't ever get it twisted. I love you, brother. But sometimes I clap back, and you know how I get. You clap back, I clap back. But it's all entertainment with the information, brother. That's all it is. It's never right. It's never no hard feelings. At least on my end, it's not like that.
No, you can be brutal, but you can be brutal. You're super brutal, but we can always talk about it. It's not a problem. It's for the people.
Right.
You have your point of view, and this is
That's
your
all it is, Reggie. I just want you to know that I do that with everybody.
Channel, so I can't.
I do that with everybody, Reggie. That's all I want you to know. You know.
I ain't even got a wrench no more. You didn't.
Oh man, you don't. Oh, yeah, you're right. Let me give my brother Reggie a wrench. Damn.
You didn't reset me, but look, it's for the people. We've been having some great shows. This FBA talk. To deny it wasn't FBA talk. It wasn't the Female Beaters Association talk.
You got a wrench, Reggie. I just seen it. You had a wrench.
Okay. So no. Okay. So but look, I'm glad the sister was up for the challenge. She wanted to talk, and this is the toughest environment, right? So she was tough. No problem. But listen, everybody liked the video. Everybody liked the video. We don't have the likes for the amount of people that's on. We got to improve our analytics because we got other people coming for our head, right? So let's get into analytics, and that's it. I'm going to go.
All right, peace, and we out.
That's what he did. And messed up, like, he say he from up there where y'all at. He say he from New York. Well, upstate.
Upstate New York? Nah, we don't claim that.
Screaming at the top of your lungs don't make you that guy. Try to watch my style and replay it, don't make you fly. Don't take a break, cause the fake like the snake. When the big dog away, all they do is clout chase. When I enter the room, all they do is bout face. Put them.
Hold on, man. Hold on. I'm looking a little closer at that hat. Is that a mink fedora? Is that a fox or what? What is it?
I get it from the same place you get it from in Harlem, the Hat Man in Harlem.
You sure? On Linux, between Linux and Fifth?
Between Linux, yeah. Between the one that's right on it's not I think it's on Atom. The one on Atom Plain Power.
Cause I got one just like that.
I know you do.
But mine's is like I think it's a mink. I ain't wear it in a minute.
Yours is more. It's
a mink. It don't have the fur. It don't have the big fur like this right here. But it's a mink. It's a little mink.
You got more money than me. My hat is.
I don't have no money, brother. Don't do that.
My hat is in a $400 range. Your hat is in.
There you go.
Huh?
Yeah, I like that. I got the same joint, and I got the coat to match it, like the 3/4 joint, like the trench joint, the trench.
sa.neter, you the flyest. You the flyest. Huh?
Yep, that's it right there.
And you mink down. I see people don't know. sa.neter walk mink down, boy. When it get cold. Anyway, go back to this.
Yeah, that's what he did. And messed up, like, He say he from up there where y'all at. He say he from New York. Well, upstate.
Upstate New York? Nah, we don't claim that.
Screaming at the top of your lungs don't make you that guy. Try to watch my style and replay it, don't make you fly. Don't take a break, cause the fake like the snake. When the big dog away, all they do is clout chase. When I enter the room, all they do is bout face. Put them lions on my back, then ball with the minister. Side put me on there, everybody wanna mimic you. Yeah, I thought I told you we the toughest here. We be on the scene, niggas screen our shit. We the toughest you done seen, we the big boy clique. If he really want smoke, I pull up with him. Toughest environment, smoke city.
Hold up. I had to get it, Reggie. Here it go right here. See that?
Nice. Easy.
Same hat you got, bro.
Easy. So we brothers.
And I got the trench that go with it. So
killing them.
Yeah, man.
Kill him, side. That sa.neter's on that Bumpy Johnson. sa.neter's on that Bumpy Johnson joint, boy. Look at you looking at that. Look at the new Bumpy Johnson, the Bumpy Johnson of Conscious TV, right here. This Bumpy Johnson right here, huh?
I ain't gonna stop you no more. Let's get started.
Yeah, that's what he did. Had me messed up. Like, he say he from up there where y'all at. He say he from New York. Well, upstate.
Upstate New York? Nah, we don't claim that.
Screaming at the top of your lungs don't make you that guy. Try to watch my style and replay it, don't make you fly. Don't take a break, cause the fake like the snake. When the big dog away, all they do is clout chase. When I enter the room, all they do is bout face. Put them lions on my back, then ball with the minister. Side put me on there, everybody wanna mimic you. Yeah, I thought I told you we the toughest here. We be on the scene, niggas screen our shit. We the toughest you done seen, we the big boy clique. If he really want smoke, I pull up with him. Toughest environment, smoke city. I can tell by your energy, you ain't really woke. He showed up to debate, but he choked. No money in his pocket, boy broke. Shit, the only thing he can teach is hope. Kill a spider, drown a fish, stomp a rose, do something. But don't come on sa.neter with the stunt. Everybody over here getting money. Touche hit me up, told me go and run it. Guess I'm Carl Lewis. You looking dumb foolish. Nigga way upstate making soft music. Boy, this the toughest environment, show you how to do it. Mr. Toughest environment, show you how to do it. We be on the scene, niggas screen our shit. We the toughest you done seen, we the big boy clique. If he really want smoke, I pull up with him. Toughest environment, smoke city. I can tell by your energy, you ain't really woke. He showed up to debate, but he choked. No money in his pocket, boy broke. Shit, the only thing he can teach is hope. We be on the scene, niggas screen our shit. We the toughest you done seen, we the big boy clique. If he really want smoke, I pull up with him. Toughest environment, smoke city. I can tell by your energy,